Hi friends, this is Ben. In this video, we're going to learn advanced Pinia concept. This video is divided in 3 chapters. In chapter 1, we are going to learn what is Pinia and how we can benefit from it. We are going to learn how to use Pinia using Vue Composition API and Vue Option API. We are going to learn how to preserve reactivity using the StoreToRefs, ToRefs, and ToRef function. We are going to talk about automatic replacement inside a Pinia store in order to enhance the development process. In chapter 2, we are going to learn how to use the provide and inject function in order to avoid prop drilling. We are going to learn how to create a Pinia plugin. We are going to learn how to listen to action changes using the onAction hook. We are going to learn how to listen to state changes using the subscribe hook. And in chapter 3, we are going to talk about how to create a maintainable Pinia store. And also we're going to talk about private state. And at the end, we are going to build an app in order to put our skills to test. So what is Pinia? Pinia is a state management library that we use inside a Vue app in order to manage the state in it. It is an alternative for Redux. If you came from React, you probably know what is Pinia because Redux works the same as Pinia. So how Pinia works? If we take a look to this diagram, we have a Pinia store and 2 components, the component A and the component B. Let's say we have an object inside the Pinia store. The name inside this object is Ben, and with Pinia, we have the possibility to pass this data from the component A and the component B. If we modify the value of the name property inside the component A, we're going to pass the updated value to the component B. This is how Pinia works. It's like a central data storage. It means when we put data inside the Pinia store, every component inside of our app can get access to it. And if we modify this data inside another component, all components are going to get updated data. This is how Pinia works, guys. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, now we're going to install a Vue3 project. We are going to go at Vue.js.our website, and then you're going to click within the quick start menu. And you're going to scroll down to the creating a Vue application. And then right here, they suggest us some commands based on a node package manager. And actually on my computer, I'm using npm. If you're using pnpm, you're gonna cut this command. If you're using yarn, you're gonna cut this command. If you're using ban, you're gonna copy this command right here. And as I'm using npm, I'm gonna copy the first command, and then I'm gonna get into within my command prompt. And then right here, once you tap this command, they're going to prompt you to enter the name of your project. And right here, I'm gonna pass here the name of my project is Vue JavaScript. First of all, we're gonna start learning Pinia using JavaScript, and then at the end, we are going to learn how to tap our Pinia store using TypeScript. And then you're gonna tap inner, and actually I'm gonna select no, add JS6 no, and then right here add router for single page application. I'm select yes, add Pinia for state management, yes, add various for unit testing, no, and then right here add an end-to-end testing solution, no. And then here I'm gonna pass here yes for add ESLint for code quality, yes. And then here add prettier for code formatting and pass here yes. And then you're gonna cd within your JavaScript folder, and then you're gonna tap this npm and pass the npm install. And then you're ready. And right here I've already installed my projects, and then I'm gonna cd within Pinia and pass here Pinia with JavaScript. And then here I'm gonna get into my code editor to start the learning process. And then you can see that actually I just open my project. It's right here. Alright guys, now we're gonna start learning Pinia using Vue Option API. Before we start, you have to make sure you got a pretty good basic of Vue3. If you don't got the basic, you can go check it out my Vue3 playlist, guys. I teach everything you need in order to be comfortable in Vue3. Now, once you are comfortable, you can come back and watch this video. Now we're going to start with Pinia, with the installation of Pinia within a Vue app. And if you get into within the main.js file, guys, you're gonna see that actually they've already imported the create Pinia function. They pass it to the Vue instance. When we install Pinia alongside with Vue, they immediately added Pinia to the Vue instance. If you install Vue first and then you install Pinia later, you have to import the create Pinia function and then you pass it to the Vue instance. This is how we pass Pinia to the Vue instance. Now we're going to get into within the app.vue file, and then right here you can see that actually they are using Vue Composition API. I'm gonna delete all of that, and then right here we're gonna start with Vue Option API. I'm gonna pass here div, and then I'm pass here an h1, and then here I'm going to create a reactive property called app name. Now I'm going to create a script tag, and then here I'm going to export an object and pass it export default. And here I'm gonna create a reactive property using the data function, and then here I'm gonna pass here app name, and then I'm gonna say learning Pinia. Yeah, I'm pass here learning, yeah, Pinia, like this. Now I'm going to create a computed property right here. A computed property allows to track a reactive property, and here the row of this computed property, we're gonna put in a function that we're gonna use in order to get the length of our app name reactive property. And then I'm gonna say right here, I'm gonna pass here app name length, and then here I'm not getting in here, I'm gonna return this that app name that length. And here we got also the methods property where we are going to put in our methods. Right here and pass here methods, and like this. And also we got the mounted function right here and pass here mounted. We are going to call everything inside this function where we're going to mount the app components. Now here we're going to get into the browser. I'm going to get into my command line, and then here I'm type here npm run dev, and then right here we are going to get into the browser, guys. And then we are going to wait that we run our Vue server, and then we're gonna get into the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Before our server run, guys, we are going to get into first within the stores folder. We are going to create our first Pinia store. Now you can see that actually we got a default Pinia store right here, which is the counter.js file. And this is Vue Composition API. I'm going to create another Pinia store, but we're gonna use Vue Option API. I'm gonna copy all of that, and then the second Pinia store, I'm gonna name it counter2.js. In here, I'm going to delete all of that, and here I'm gonna remove this out of function, and we're going to pass here the name of the Pinia store. You can see in order to create a Pinia store, you have to import the define store function from Pinia, and then you pass it a name, and this name must be unique. And then right here I'm gonna pass here too. You can see we got another Pinia store, which is the name is counter.js, and we got another one which is counter2.js. If we pass the same name right here, we're gonna end up with an error. Now right here I'm going to create a state. And here, I'm gonna create a state right here. I'm gonna do this. This is the state. And then here, I'm gonna pass here the state. And here, we're gonna put in a reactive property. And in Pinia, guys, you have to consider that the state is like a reactive property. Yeah, this is a reactive property. And then here, I'm gonna pass here count, and then I'm passing the value of 0. And here we're going to create a getter. Yeah, a getter, we can call it as a computed property, like in Vue Option API. And then here I'm gonna say getters, and then here we are going to pass here double, and here in order to get access to the reactive property right here to the state, we are going to pass the state as a parameter, and then we're going to use the state parameter in order to get access to the reactive property count, and I'm passing plus plus, and I can say times2 like this. We are going to create now the action. Actions is the methods, is where we're going to put in our methods. Now I'm passing actions, and then here I'm going to pass here increments. And here I'm gonna do this. Now to get access to these states right here, we are going to use these keywords. And then here I'm gonna pass here this that counts plus plus. Yeah, you can see it is the same, pretty easy. You can see this is the data function like in Vue Option API. We pass here the computed property in order to track reactive property. We pass here the actions which represent the methods like this. And then yeah, everything is okay so far. And now we are going to get into the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then right here you can see that actually our Vue server has already been running, and then I'm gonna click on the link, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. Yeah, and then you can see learning Pinia. Now we're gonna get into within the main.js file, and then I'm going to comment these side effects imports in order to remove the CSS, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get, learning Pinia. And right here, I'm going to open the console for debugging. And now I'm going to display the length of our title. I'm gonna get into within our file right here, app.vue. And here I'm gonna copy the app name length, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. And then you can see we're gonna get the app name length within the browser. You can see we got 14. Now we're gonna learn how to use the Pinia store inside our app.vue components. And right here, we need to get access to the state, getters, and actions. We're going to get into within the app.vue component. And then here, first of all, we're going to import the use current store. I'm passing use current store. And right here, we are going to pass here the name is current store, because you can see that actually within the source folder, we got two Pinia store. We got the current.js and the current2.js. And in order to get access to these properties, the state, the getters, and action, we are going to import another function from Pinia, which is the map store. Imports here, I'm gonna pass here map stores. Yeah, we're gonna pass here import map stores like this, and then we are going to inject it within the computer's property so that we can have the possibility to get access to these properties. And then here I'm gonna use here 3 dots, and then I'll pass here map stores, and then we're gonna pass the use current store like this. And actually we have the possibility to get access to these properties. Now we are going to get access to the state, and to do so we are going to import another function, which is the map state. And here I'm gonna pass here again 3 dots map state. Yeah, like this map state, we are going to pass it the name of the Pinia store, which is the use current store, and then we're gonna pass it an array. And this array should contain reactive property of the state function, and we're gonna pass it also getters. We have one getter, which is the double, and then here I'm going to display this reactive property, which is the count. And I'm gonna pass here div, and here I'm passing count, and then I'm gonna display it. Yeah, like this. If you get into the browser, you're gonna see you're gonna have right here count. You can see the value of the count reactive property is 0. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to import actions, and here we are going to import another helper function from the Pinia. And here I'm gonna pass here map actions like this, map actions. Yeah, and here I'm going to get into with the method property, and then here I'm gonna pass here 3 dots again, and then I'm pass here map actions. And here we need to pass it the name of the Pinia store, and then we're gonna pass it an array of function. We got only one function, which is increments, and then we have the possibility to get access to this increment function. I'm going to create a button right here, and then here I'm gonna say increments, and here on click event we are going to call the increment function and pass here increments like this. And if we get into the browser, and then if I click on increment button, you can see that actually we're incrementing the count reactive property. Now, how can we get access to the increment function inside the mounted function? Let's say we have another function right here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna name it increments again. Yeah, and in order to get access to the increment function from the Pinia store, we have the possibility to use these keywords. We can pass here this increment. We have the possibility to call this function, and if we pass it, if we need to get access to this function, the increment inside the mounted function, we can use these keywords. Yeah, and pass here this increment. And then you can see if we get into the browser, you're gonna see if we refresh the page, you're gonna see the actual value of the count reactive property is 1. And we are calling the increment function when we are mounting the app.vue component to the DOM. And I'm going to pass also we're gonna pass the double function to the template. And then here I'm passing double. And then you're gonna get the double of the reactive property. I'm gonna click on increment, and then you can see we are getting the double in real time. Now we're going to interact with these endpoints in order to put what we've learned so far in practice. We're going to display, we're going to hit this endpoint, and then we're going to display a list of posts. And right now we are going to get into within the source folder. We are going to create another Pinia store, and I'm gonna name it post.js, and we're gonna get into the connect2.js, and then I'm gonna copy the contents. I'm gonna put it within the post.js file. And right here, guys, you can see when we as I said before, when we need to create a Pinia store, first of all, we need to pass here the name of the Pinia store, and the name must be unique. I'm pass here post, and I'm gonna pass here use post store for the constants. And if you want to create another Pinia store like user, you can say use user store. This is a better conversion, guys. And then right here, I'm gonna pass here post is gonna be an array of posts, and then right now we're gonna comment the double function. I'm going to create an asynchronous function. I'm say fetch post, fetch post data, like this, fetch post data, and then here we are going to use fetch API and pass here res await, and then I'm pass here fetch, and we are going to create another constant is the data, and then we are going to await and then we are going to await an array of posts. And now I'm going to get into the browser, and then I'm gonna copy the URL, and then I'm pass it to the fetch function, and then I'm gonna pass it there. And right now we're gonna console the data variable, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Now we're going to move within the app.vue components, and then here we're going to import the Pinia store use post store. And then here we're gonna change the value of the app name reactive property and pass here post. And pass here post. And here we are going to do this. And right here you can see we got this right here. You can see we have the map source. We are going to pass it another store right here so that we can have the possibility to get access to reactive property and functions of this Pinia store. And pass here the use store. And then we are going to I'm gonna copy that. We are going to duplicate the map state, and then we are going to pass the use post store to the map state, and then we have one reactive property inside the use post store, which is the post array. And then here I'm going to get access to the function. I'm gonna copy this, and then here we are going to call the function fetch post data. I'm gonna get in the post.js, and then I'm gonna copy the function. I'm gonna pass it to the map actions. And then as we pass it to the map action, we have the possibility to get access to this function via this keyword. And then here, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna pass it this dot fetch post data, and as this function returns promise, I'm gonna pass here a sync. Like this, and then I'm gonna comment the first function right here. Now we're going to get into the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And here we are going to refresh, and then you can see within the console we got an array of posts. This is the array. Now let's pass this array of posts to the template tag. Here within the template tag, I'm not creating a div, and here we're going to pass here the router link components and pass here router link. And then here we are going to, and then we're going to pass right here the title, and right here we're going to pass here a p tag where we're going to put in the post contents. And then here what I'm going to do, you can see that actually we have the possibility to get access to the post array within the template tag. I'm going to iterate through it. I'm going to pass here v4. We're going to use v4. And then I'm saying post in post with an S, and then we're gonna pass here the key, and then I'm passing post.id like this, post.id, and here we are going to pass here post.title. And right here we have the post is undefined. The post property doesn't exist within the post array. We can pass here optional chaining in order to avoid an error. And in this case, if the post title doesn't exist, we are going to get right here undefined. And then here I'm gonna pass the post. I'm gonna pass the post content within the p tag, and then here I'm pass here the contents like this. And then I'm gonna check Yeah, I'm gonna check to the endpoint if we got the post content. You can see we got the title, the contents. If the post title doesn't exist, we are going to get undefined. And if you do not use option chaining right here, guys, you can get an error. Yeah, it's better to use option chaining, and because we doesn't know what the API can return. And now we are going to get into the browser, and then you're gonna see we are going to display an array of posts right here. And then you're gonna see we don't got the data. And right now we are passing here posts in post array. And right here you can see we need to pass the post array to the post. Yeah, we are going to post this data to the post reactive property. Now what we are going to do in order to get access to the state, we are going to use this keyword, this post is equal to the post data, like this. And then if we refresh again, we're gonna get this data. I'm gonna refresh again, and then you're gonna see we are going to pass data to the template tag. You can see, yeah, we got data. Now we're going to count the number of items that we got within the post array. And here within the template tag, I'm going to create right here ToRef tag, and then I'm gonna move within the post.js. And within the getters property, we're going to create a function count post, and then we're gonna pass the state in order to get access to the state properties. And then I'm gonna pass here post that's length, like this. And we're gonna move again within the app.view, and then we're going to pass, and then we're gonna pass the count post function to the array in order to get access to it. And then here I'm going to pass here the number of posts that we got. We are going to pass here the number of posts that we got within the post array. And then I'm pass here, I'm gonna say count posts, and then we're gonna check if we are going to get 8 items. Yeah, you can see we got 8 items within the post array. Now I'm going to create another button right here within the p tag. And the goal of this button is to share a single post to another page that we're going to be creating. And then here I'm going to pass here share right now. And within the post.js, I'm going to create another reactive property. I'm going to say shared post, and we're going to assign it an empty object. Now this is the game. And actually we can say we run the component A right here. When we are going to click on the button share, on the share button, we are going to pass the data of a single post to the shared post reactive property. And then once we got this data within the central data storage, we are going to be able to get access to this data to another page. Now we are going to do this. Right now, I'm going to do this. Right now, I'm going to copy the data that we got within the app.view. I'm going to copy all of that. And then I'm going to create another page right here. You can see we got the home.view. And this file, I'm going to change the name, and I'm pass here post. I'm pass here post page. And then I'm going to put in the content. I'm going to copy the content within the app.view. And then I'm putting it within the post page. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And then here within the app.view is going to be the entry points of our app. And right here, I'm going to pass here the template. And here, I'm going to pass here the router view components. And now I'm going to create another page right here. I'm going to name it, I'm going to say single post. And then a single post.view. We are going to get into within the router folder index.js. And in here, guys, we're going to import, first of all, when we are going to hit the base URL of our app, we are going to import the post page. And right here, I'm going to import the post page. I'm gonna do this and pass a post page, and I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna pass it here. And here, the post page, you're gonna see it's gonna be the home page. And also, we are going to import the single post page. And here I'm gonna say we're going to pass here the name of single post, like this. Now we're going to get into the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then here I'm gonna refresh the page, and then you can see that actually we got some errors. We need to import our Pinia store within the post page. I'm gonna add here 2 dots in order to get out of the views folder, and then I'm passing another dots like this. And then if we get into the browser again, you can see yeah, we have the possibility to display a list of posts. Now here, when I'm going to click on the button, we're going to pass data to the shared post reactive property. And here I'm going to go back within the post.js. I'm going to go up, and then right here I'm going to create another function right here, share post, and here I'm going to do this. Yeah, we are going to pass it the post ID. And then here I'm going to use the filter function in order to get a post. I'm going to say const post, and we're going to use the filter function. I'm going to pass here this post. We're going to pass here post. We are going to pass the post array filter, and then we are going to do post.id is equal to the ID, and we're going to check if the post array, you can see the post right here is an array, and we're going to check if the length is greater than 1, and then if the length is greater than 1, it means we got data, and then we're going to pass this data to the shared post reactive property. I'm going to pass here shared post, and then is equal to the post, and then we're going to extract the first item within the array. And there we go. Now we're going to go back within the post page, and then we're going to extract the share post function. And then right here, you can see we got right here the map actions, and then we got the fetch post data, and then we're going to extract another function, which is the share post. And then here we are going to do this. We are going to call this function when we are going to click on the share button, and then we're going to pass here the post.id like this. Now we're going to move within now we're going to get into within the single post, and then right here we are going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to import first the Pinia store, and I'm going to copy the script tag within the post page, and I'm going to copy all of that, and then we're going to put it within the single post, and then we're going to modify things right here, guys. And here I'm going to do this. You can see right here we're going to change the app name. The app name value, we're going to pass here single post. Yeah, pass here single post, and right here I'm going to get rid of the use counter store. We are not going to use it in this file, and then I'm gonna remove that, and we're gonna stay with the use post store. And right here we are going to, and here you can see we get access to the post reactive property and to the count getter. And now I'm going to pass here another property, which is the shared post reactive property. And then here I'm going to call it, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to pass it to the template tag. Right here, I'm pass here this. And then we are going to get into the browser, and then you're going to see what we're going to get. I'm going to pass here the h1, and then I'm going to pass here the app title, the app name. And like this, now we're going to get into the browser, and yeah, we remove the map stores, guys, and I'm gonna pass here map stores, and then we're going to pass the use post store right here in order to avoid an error. And now everything is okay, guys. Now I'm going to get into the browser, and then I'm gonna pass here the path is single post, pass here the base URL, and then I'm pass here / single post like this, and then I'm gonna tap inner, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And right now I'm gonna get into the console to check if it doesn't got an error right here. Use counter store is not defined, and right here you can see use counter store. I'm gonna remove this action right here, and then we're gonna check again. I'm gonna refresh again, and then here, guys, you can see that actually we got an empty object. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into within the post page, and here I'm going to create right here a UL tag, and then we are going to pass in the post page, and we're going to pass in the single post page. We are going to use the router link in order to move to the single post page. I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to pass right here and pass here the two attributes, and then we're going to pass here / to indicate that we are going to, when we're going to click on this link right here, we're going to move to the post page. And here I'm going to copy that again, and then I'm passed here, and here I'm pass here the path is single post like this, and then I'm gonna check this the path single post like this, and then here we are going to pass here single post, yeah, like this. Now what I'm going to do, guys, And here you can see that actually we pass here a function share post. When we're going to click on this button, we're going to pass data to the share post reactive property. And then here I'm going to move to the home page, and then here you're gonna see what we're gonna get. Right, you can see when I'm gonna click on the button right here, share post, we're going to pass data to the shared post reactive property. And if I move to the single post, you can see that actually passes data. You can see this is the title, and then you can see the title is Introduction to JavaScript. I'm gonna go back, and then right here I'm gonna click on the second post, and here you can see Understanding CSS. And then I'm gonna click on the share button again, and then we're going to move to the single post page, and then you can see that actually we just updated the share post reactive property. And this is how we can pass data to components, guys, using Pinia Store. Yeah, you can see that Pinia is a powerful central data storage. We can use it to pass data between pages. And hopefully this example that I give you makes sense. Alright guys, now we're gonna learn how to create a Pinia Store using the composition API syntax. We already learned how to use Pinia using the option API syntax. Now we're going to get into within our text editor. You can see we got the Canada.js. This is a Vue, this is the composition API syntax, and this is the option API syntax. Now here, when we install Pinia alongside with Vue, they created the Canada.js. And then right here, you can see this is syntax. We use the define store function in order to create a Pinia store. And we pass the name of the Pinia store, which is the corner. And we say that the name must be unique. And right here, we create a reactive property. This is the state, the counts. And we use a reactive property because we assign it the ref function. And we create a getter. We got the double counts using the computer property. And right here, we got our function increments. Now, you're going to check, this is the syntax of option API, and this is the syntax of composition API. You're going to choose which one is the best for your projects. And then here, they return the count, the double counts function, and the increment function. Now, in order to get access to the Canada.js, we are going to create another file right here. I'm going to teach how you can get access to this property using Vue Composition API. Now I'm going to create another page. I'm going to name it here. We're going to pass here home page, the Vue, like this. And then we're going to get into within the router folder index.js. And here I'm going to copy that. And then right here, we are going to pass here, this is the post page. And then here we're going to pass here, this is going to be the home page, and pass here /, and then here I'm pass here home. And then here we're going to pass here home page like this. This is the name. We're going to go back within the home page. And then here we're going to pass here the template tag. And then we're going to pass here the script tag. This is the syntax. When you are working with Vue Composition API, you should pass the script tag above the template tag. And then here I'm pass here the setup attributes. And then here, what we are going to do, we are going to import the Canada.js. And then here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass here const Canada store. I'm going to say right here, Canada is equal to the use Canada store, like this. This is how we're going to import it. And then we're going to import the first one. This is the Canada.js, not the Canada.js. And then you can see use Canada store like this. And then here we're going to pass here a div. Yeah, a div right here. And here, in order to get access, let's say to the count reactive property, we are going to use the counter variable right here, that counts. And then here I'm pass here an h1, say home page, and then I'm pass here another div. And then we are going to display the value of the counter and pass here of the value of the reactive property, which is the count. Now we're going to get into the browser, and then we're going to check right here. And then here I'm going to move to the home page. And then you're going to see what we're going to get. You can see that actually right here, the value of the count reactive property is 0. Now we're going to increment it. I'm going to increment it. I'm going to create another function right here. Increment, I'm going to say increment counter. Then here I'm going to use the counter constant. and then that increment, we're gonna use this property right here in order to get access to these properties that we just passed to this object right here. And here we have the possibility to get access to these properties using the counter constants. And then here I'm going to copy the increment counter, and then I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna create a button, and then I'm gonna say increment. And here we're going to do this. We're gonna pass here on click events, and pass here on a click event. We're going to call the increment counter function, and then it's gonna work the same as the option API. And then here I'm going to get into the browser. I'm gonna click increment, and then you can see that actually we are incrementing the count reactive property. And also we can get access to the double. I'm gonna pass here the double like this, and then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do counter dot double count, the double count function, and then we're gonna get the double of the reactive property. You can see we got the double. Yeah, the double right now is 18, and everything is working pretty good, guys. You can see this is how we can use the composition API syntax. Yeah, you can see it's pretty simple, pretty easy, and we got a small amount of code right here, guys. Alright, guys, now we're going to refactor the post.js Pinia store. You can see right here we use Vue option API. We're gonna refactor it to composition API syntax. You're gonna choose which one is the best. Now we're going to create another file right here. We're gonna name it post2.js, and then I'm gonna copy the content within the post.js, and then I'm put it within the post2.js. And right here we're going to return right here a function which returns an object like this. And then right here we are going to create, in here we're going to create a reactive property post, and then we're gonna pass a post is equal to ref. We're gonna assign it an array, and we are going to create another reactive property which is the shared post is equal to ref, and then we assign it an empty object. And right here we're going to import the ref function from Vue, and pass the import, and then I'll pass the ref from Vue like this. And we're going to get rid of the state property. And right here we got the count post function. Now we are going to use a computed function in order to create a getter. And then right here I'm gonna pass a const count post is equal to computed property. Yeah, like this. And then we are going to pass here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna pass here post that value, that length, like this. And right here we are going to get the length of the post array. And then here I'm gonna do this. I'm going to get rid of the getters property. And then right here we're gonna pass here function. This is gonna be a function, and this one too is gonna be an asynchronous function. And then we're gonna get rid of the actions property like this. And there we go. We just finished, and everything is clear, guys, and pretty easy. You can see, and that actually we got a code which is clean. Yeah, you can see this code right now is clean. Now we're going to pass these properties and the share post and the fetch post data function. We're going to pass it to the return statements. And here I'm going to pass the return statement. We are going to return we're going to return right here the post, and we're going to return also the share post. We're going to pass the return statement. We're going to return the count post and the share post function. And also we're going to return right here, we are going to return the fetch post data function, and pass here fetch post data function like this. Now we are going to get access to these properties within the homepage.vue file, and I'm gonna get in. And then right now here I'm going to change the name of the Pinia store. I'm pass here use post store 2. I'm pass here 2, and here 2 like this. Now let's get into within the homepage.vue, and then we're going to get access to these properties. Now I'm gonna get in the homepage, and then here I'm pass here use post store 2 like this. You can see we just import it, and then if you have the post store constants, we have the possibility to get access to all properties that we pass to the return statements. And then here what I'm going to do on mounted we are going to call the fetch data function. Yeah, the fetch post data function. like this, and we're going to display right here a list of posts. I'm gonna pass here and I'll pass here posts, and then we are going to pass here post store like this, and then I'll pass here that post. And then if you get into the browser, you're gonna see we're going to display a list of posts, and right here you can see we got an empty array. And then right here we are going to check again, and then we're gonna try to see if it doesn't got any issue. And right here you can see if we go back within the post2.js, you can see right here we do this. We are using right here this keyword. We are going to remove that in order to make things work, and then I'm passing that value. We use that value because the shared post is a reactive property, and then here I'm pass here that value, and then I'm gonna remove these keywords. And then if you get into the browser again, you're gonna see we're going to get right here an array of posts. And yeah, you can see we got it, everything is okay. And then you can see that if we use the composition API, we're going to use a small amount of code, and we have a Pinia store which is clean, which is much clean, guys, and which is easy to manage and is maintainable. And now if we get into within the home page of Vue, you can see we have right here, we got right here one line, which is the post store. And then via the post store constant, we have the possibility to get access to all functions and properly located within the post2 Pinia store. And then you can see it's pretty easy than using the option API syntax. If we get into within the post page, you're gonna see that in order to get access to these properties, we use a big amount of code. Alright guys, now we're gonna learn how to get access to the properties of a Pinia store using destructuring. Now we're going to get into within the home page, the Vue file, and then right here you can see we got the counter constant, and then we assign it the use counter store. And then right here what I'm going to do, I'm gonna change first the name, I'm gonna pass the use counter store. And then if we want to get access to this property, we can use the counter store.count and the counter store.double. I'm not comment this right now. And if we need to get access to the increment function, I'm going to delete that, guys. And then here we're going to do this counter store that increments like this. And then if you get into the browser, you're gonna see that actually we are going to increment the value of the count reactive property. I'm gonna click increment, and then you can see we're incrementing the counts. And then here, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna use right now destructuring in order to get access to this property. Let's say I need to make the template tag clean. I'm going to remove the counter store like this. I'm gonna remove that, and then I'm going to do this. And here, guys, we are going to use destructuring, and pass here const. We are going to extract the counts. And here we're going to extract, so we're going to extract also the double count and the increment function, and then we are going to assign it the counter store, yeah, like this, the counter store constant. And then if we get into the browser, we're going to try to see if we are going to be able to increment the count reactive property. And right here I'm going to click increment. It doesn't work. Why? Because we just broke the reactivity. And here, if we get into within the counter.js file, you can see if we get into within the counter.js file, you can see we got right here two reactive property. You can see we got the counts is a reactive property, and also the double counts is a reactive property. You can see we return right here, the type is computed ref. This is a reactive property. And also we return a function. Now we got two reactive property and we got one function. Now when we extract the count and the double count reactive property, we break the reactivity. Now in order to do not break the reactivity, we are going to use another function provided by Pinia, which is the StoreToRef. We are going to go back within the post page. We're gonna go back within the home page of Vue, and then in here I'm going to remove right here the function. We're gonna pass only reactive property, and then I'm gonna come in the function, and then here we're gonna pass here StoreToRef function, and then I'm gonna pass in the counter store. And for the function, we're going to create another line right here. We're gonna pass the increments, and then we're going to assign it the counter store. Yeah. And then we're gonna try it again. We're gonna check if it's gonna work again. and then I'm not getting to the browser. I'm going to refresh first the page, and then here I'm going to click on the button increments, and then you can see that actually we got the value of the count reactive property is 5, and the double count reactive property, the actual value is 10. Everything is working pretty well. Now, if you want to destructure reactive property, you should assign it the StoreToRefs function to make it reactive. If you do not do that, you're gonna break the reactivity. And for the function, you need to do this. You need to pass it destructuring and assign it the current store constant. And then you can see this is how you should do it if you want to extract reactive property from a Pinia. So use the StoreToRefs function. Alright guys, now I'm going to be talking about auto module replacement. Now let's say right here we are going to get into within the Canada.js, and right here we have the count reactive property, we got the double count reactive property, we got the increment function. Now let's say here I create another function which is decrements, and pass here decrements, and then here I'm gonna do count that value minus, and then I'm pass decrement function to the return statement. Now we're going to get into within the home page of Vue, and in here we're going to create another button. We're gonna pass here decrements, and on click event we are going to call the decrement function and pass here on the click event. We are going to pass here decrements like this, and then we are going to extract it from the current store constant. Yeah, I'm pass here decrements, and then we got it. If we get into the browser, you can see that actually if I click on the increment button, you can see that we're incrementing the count, and we have the possibility to decrement the count reactive property because we just refreshed the web page. Now, what if I get into again within the Canada.js, and right here I pass here I assign the count reactive property the value of 0, and then if I get into the browser again, I'm gonna try to increment. Yeah, we can increment, and right now you can see that we are decrementing the count by 1, but we don't actually assign it the value of 0. Now, if I refresh again the web page, and then here I increment and I decrement, you can see I'm incrementing the count, and then I can assign it 0 immediately. Now, how can we apply changes to our Pinia store without refreshing the web page? Now, we're going to use auto module replacements. We are going to get into within a Canada.js, and then we are going to add this line right here. If import meta.auth, we are checking if this module exists, and then we are going to apply auto module replacement to this Pinia store, and then I'm going to cap the use current store. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then we are going to import the accept auto module replacement from Pinia, and then right here you can see we are going to import it from Pinia. I'm gonna pass it there, and then here guys, if we get into the browser, you can see I'm going to refresh right now. And then here, we just added auto module replacement. I'm gonna click increment, and then here decrement, you can see we assign it 0. What if again, we get into within the Canada.js, and then right here we pass here minus. Now let's see if we are going to decrement the count. And then, yeah, you can see that actually it doesn't work. Yeah, now let me show you why it doesn't work. We are going to get into within the home page of Vue, and you can see right here, we are using destructuring. Yeah, we are essentially using destructuring. That's why it doesn't work. And here, in order to make it work, we are going to get access to the increment function and decrement function from the current store. Yeah, we are going to use the current store constant in order to get access to the increment and decrement function so that it can definitely work. Now here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment this line right here, and then I'm going to use the current store constant, and then we're going to pass it right here and here like this, and then we're going to refresh again. I'm going to refresh again, and then we're going to try to check. I'm going to increment the count, and then I can decrement. Now, let's modify the logic inside the decrement function. And then here, I'm going to assign right here, I'm going to assign the count reactive property, the value of 0. Now, I'm going to assign it 0. Now, I'm going to get into the browser again, and then you can see we can increment, and then we can immediately assign the count reactive property, the value of 0. Yeah, you can see it works. And here, guys, if you want to apply auto module replacements and you are using destructuring, it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work for function. For function, it doesn't work. And in order to make it work, you have to use the kernel store, and then via the kernel store, constant, you can get access to functions. And then once you click on the button, it's gonna work. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, this is how we use auto module replacement in order to update automatically our Pinia store without refreshing the web page. Alright guys, now we're going to learn how to use the provide and inject function with Pinia. And before we continue, I'm going to make sure everyone understands how to use the provide and inject. It's pretty important for everyone to be on the same page. Now, right here, I'm going to tell you why we should use the provide and inject function. We should use it in order to avoid prop drilling. Now you can see right here we have a diagram of a component, and here this component has the header, main, and footer components, and the footer components has add child components. Now let's say right here we have a value within the parent component, which is the roots, and then we need to pass this value to the footer. Now, in order the footer component to get the value, we need to define in a prop, and then we can pass this value. And what if we need to pass this value to the child component of the footer component? We are going to define another prop within the child component of the footer, and then we are going to pass this component and so on. Now, let me demonstrate this by an example. We are going to get into within the home page, the Vue file. And then right here, I'm going to get into within the views folder. I'm going to create right here a component. I'm going to create right here component folder and pass here components. And then in here, in the component folder, I'm going to put in, I'm going to say this is the kernel one, the view. And then here, I'm going to pass here, and then I'm going to say child, I'm going to pass here even kernel to the view like this. And then we're going to get into within the kernel one, the view. And then right here, we're going to pass here first the script tag. And then I'm pass here setup. And we're going to pass here setup like this. And then we're going to pass here the template tag. Yeah, I'm passing here the template tag. And then here, we're going to pass the template tag. And then I'm going to pass in a div. And then I'm say h1, and then I'm gonna say this is a kernel 1, and right here I'm gonna copy this code, and then I'm gonna put it within the kernel 2, and then I'll say this is kernel 2. Now let's say within the home page we are going to import in the kernel 1 components, and then right here I'm gonna do import kernel 1 components. We just import it. And then right here, we're going to pass it above right here. I'm going to comment all of that. And then we're going to pass here kernel 1 component /1. And then here, we are going to pass it data. Now, we are going to get into, in order to pass the data to the kernel 1 components, we are going to define a prop using the define prop macro, and pass here define prop. And then here we're going to pass here an array and pass here an array. And then we're going to say we're going to pass here the count. And then here I'm pass here const props. And then here we're going to do this. We're going to say a counter val. We're going to pass here counter 1 val. And we're going to say counter 1 val. Yeah, counter 1 val is. And then here I'm going to do this props that count like this. And then we're going to pass the count data to the counter 1 components. Now, if you get into the browser, you're going to see we're going to pass here. This is the counter 1. And then counter 1 val is, we are going to pass data to this component. We are going to get into within the home page, the view. And then here, we are going to pass here count. And then we are going to do this. You can see we just extract the count reactive property. And then I'm going to pass it here. And then if we get into the browser, you can see counter 1 val is 0. Now here I'm going to uncomment this button right here. I'm going to uncomment that, and here I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna remove this in order to uncomment this button, and then here I'm gonna do this, and we're going to stay with the increment and decrement button. And then here, if I click increment, you can see that we are incrementing the val of the count reactive property. Now, what I'm going to do again here, I'm going to get into within the counter1 components. And then here, I'm going to import the counter2 inside the counter1 components. I'm going to pass here, I'm going to do import. And then here, I'm going to pass here counter2. And then we're going to pass it right here. I'm going to pass here, I'm going to add here break tag. And then we are going to say, we're going to pass here counter2. And then here we are going to pass it data. Now, in order to pass the counter2 data, we are going to define a prop inside the counter2 components. And then I'm going to copy the define prop macro. And then I'm not getting the counter2. I'm going to do this. And here I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass here the prop. And then in order to display the value, we are going to say this is the val of counter2. Yeah, like this. And then we're going to pass here props.val, that count, guys. And then here we are going to go back within the counter1 component. And then right here, we're going to pass here count property, and then we're going to do props.counts. And this is what we call prop trailing. Yeah, I think you understand. Yeah, we are going to get into the browser, guys. And then I'm gonna refresh right now. And then right here, you can see this is the var, this is the counter1 val is 0, and this is the var of the counter2 is 0. If I click increment, you can see that actually we are incrementing the count. And we use prop trailing. Yeah, you can see this, the root component is the home page. And then we got counter1 right here. And then we pass data from the counter1 and from the counter1 component, and then we pass it to the counter2 components. Yeah, and this is what we call prop trailing. But how can we avoid prop trailing? We are going to use the provide and inject function. Yeah, we're going to use the provide and inject function in order to avoid prop trailing. Now we are going to get into within the home page. And then here, guys, we are going to use the provide and inject function in order to pass data to nested components. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to import right here. I'm going to do this provide. I'm going to import this function from Vue. You can see we pass to the counter1 component. We pass the value. And then here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove that right here. And then we are going to use the provide and inject function. And then here, I'm going to do this provide. And then here, we are going to pass it the key. The key right here, we are going to pass it the counter store, and then this is the value. Now we're going to get into within the counter1 component, and then in here, guys, we are going to use the inject function in order to pass data to these components. And then right here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do import and then inject. We're going to import the inject function from Vue. And then right here, we're going to do this. We're going to pass here, we're going to pass here counter store. And then here, we're going to pass here is equal to the inject function. And then we're going to pass here counter store. If we get into within the home page, you can see this is the key. And this is the value. I'm gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna get in the counter1 component, and then I'm gonna pass here the counter1 component. This is the key. And in here, we are going to use the counter1 constant, and then we are going to get access to the count property. And then we're gonna do this. And right here, I'm gonna remove that. I'm going to remove this property to the counter2 components. And then right here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy the inject function. I'm gonna put it within the counter2 components. And then we're going to get access to the count reactive property value. And then here, I'm gonna copy again the counter store, and then we're gonna pass it right here. You can see. And then everything is okay now, and we don't use prop drilling. Now, if we get into the browser again, I'm going to refresh the page, and then you're gonna see, you can see right here, this is counter1 val is, and we need also to import the counter2 inside the counter1. And then right here, I'm going to import it. We are going to get into within the counter1. You can see we need to import it. I'm pass here import counter2, and then we are going to go back within the browser, and then you can see this is counter2 components. And then I'm gonna click increment, and then you can see that actually just pass data to nested components. And this is how we use the provide and inject function. it's better, and because we don't use prop drilling, it's better. And then if we have another components, let's say counter free, I'm gonna create right here counter free that view. And then if we need to pass these components, we need to import it within the counter2 components. We are going to use the inject function in order to get to the count reactive property value. And this is better, guys, because we don't use prop drilling, and this is the benefit. Now I'm going to import again right here. I'm gonna import the counter free right here. We import it, and then if we get into within the counter free, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this is counter free, and this is the value of the counter free, like this. We pass it here, and then we are going to. You can see that we just import the counter free inside the counter2. And then we use the inject function in order to get to the value. Yeah, you can see it's better. It's pretty easy, guys. And then I'm going to get into within the counter2. And then right here, in here, I'm going to pass here counter free. We are going to pass here counter free. And then if we get into the browser, you're going to see everything is going to work pretty well. I'm going to refresh. And then you can see we got this is the counter1, this is the counter2, and free, and then we can increment the value at the same time, and we don't use prop drilling. I think this example makes sense. Alright guys, now we're gonna be talking about this free function. You can see we got StoreToRefs, ToRef, and ToRefs with an S. Now we use this free function in order to preserve reactivity. We already use the StoreToref. If we get into within the home page, the Vue file, you can see right here we use StoreToref in order to preserve the reactivity of the count property and the double counts. Yeah, we use StoreToref as we essentially using the structuring. We use StoreToref to preserve reactivity. But how can we use ToRef? I'm going to import ToRef from Vue and pass here ToRef. And then here, let's say we need to preserve the reactivity of a single property within the counter store. We can do this. And then here I'm gonna say const. I'm going to name it count val. And then here I'm going to assign it to ref. And then here we're going to pass it the value. And then here I'm going to pass it the counter store. And then I'm pass it right here, and then we are going to extract one value that we need to keep its reactivity, and then I'm gonna extract counts. And then if you try to see the value of the count val reactive property, you're gonna see what we're gonna get. And here I'm going to do this. I'm gonna pass here count val, and then you're gonna see we're gonna get the value right here. If we get into the browser, and then here I'm going to refresh, you can see count val, the value is 10. And this is how we use the ToRef function in order to preserve reactivity of a single function. Now, but how can we use this function right here, ToRefs, with an S? Now, let's say we need to create a property right here, a reactive property. I'm gonna say const, I'm passing const user inputs, and then is equal to reactive. We create a reactive property using the reactive function, and then here we have the name. And then here Ben, and we are going to pass here even the gender is male. And then here, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to extract the name and the gender. Now, what I'm going to do right here, guys, I'm going to do this const, and then here I'm going to extract the name, and then here I'm going to extract the gender, and then I'm going to extract the gender, and then the value is equal to the user input, and pass is equal to user input. And like this, guys, we are going to use reactivity. Let's say I got a function right here. I'm going to pass here name. We are going to pass here username. I'm going to remove that and pass here username, and then here I'm going to create a function to update the username. Now here I'm going to create a function update username. Inside this function, I'm going to do this. User input that name is equal to John, like this. We got a function that allows to update the name property. And then here, when we are going to call this function, I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna create a button and say update username. And then here on click event, we're gonna call this function. On click event, we are going to call this function. And then if we get into the browser, you're gonna see a username. If I click on update username button, and then you can see that actually you don't update the value of the name property. in order to update the value of the name property, we need to keep reactivity of the name property. Now we are going to extract another function from Vue right here and pass here ToRefs. Yeah, like this. Now here I'm gonna pass here ToRefs, and then we are going to make the name property reactive. You can see if we put our case over the name property, we got ref string. If we put our case over the gender property, we got ref. And if we remove ToRef, you're gonna see what we're gonna get right here. The name is not reactive. We got a constant right here, and the type is string. If we pass the user inputs property inside ToRef, we are going to make the name and the gender property reactive. Now let's try it again to change the value of the name property. Let's see what we're gonna get. And then here I'm going to refresh the page, and then I'm gonna click update username button, and then you're gonna see the value John. Yeah, you can see. And to conclude, guys, we use the StoreToRef when we need to preserve reactivity of the property that we got within a Pinia store. We use ToRef when we need to preserve the reactivity of a single property. We use ToRef when we create a reactive property using the reactive function, and we extract, let's say, many property from this property, and we need to preserve reactivity. We can use ToRef function. Alright guys, now going to be talking about augmenting stores with Pinia plugin. We are going to learn what is a Pinia plugin and how we can create one. So what is a Pinia plugin? A Pinia plugin is simply a function that is registered with a Pinia instance and runs for every store created. It allows us to add new properties to a store. We can introduce new state to a store. We can intercept actions or state changes. And we can use a Pinia plugin to define and use a custom option for a store. And the importance of Pinia plugin, it allows simply to add a property on every store that we're going to be creating. It means, let's say we have a user store and we create a Pinia plugin that we're going to be using in order to add, let's say, the full name. And with this Pinia plugin, we're going to have the possibility to get access to this full name property on every store that we're going to be creating. Now we're going to start creating a Pinia plugin. We're going to get into within the main.js. By definition, we understand that a Pinia plugin is simply a function that is registered to the Pinia instance. I'm going to create a constant. I'm going to assign it the create Pinia, and then I'm going to pass this constant to the Vue instance. Now we are going to go to the doc, guys, and then right here we are going to copy. I'm going to copy something right here. I'm going to copy this function, and then we're going to go ahead and get into within the source folder. We're going to put in the plugin folder, and then within the plugin folder is where we're going to put in all our Pinia plugins. Now the first plugin is a secret.js. Yeah, I'm going to pass this, and then here I'm going to copy the name. I'm going to pass it right here. I'm going to update the name of the file, and I'm going to export this function, and we're going to pass it to the Pinia instance. We're going to get into within the main.js file, and in here we are going to do this Pinia.use, and then I'm pass here secret Pinia plugin, and then you can see that we just pass it to the Vue instance and to the Pinia instance. And you can see right here we return right here a property, an object. It's contain one property secret. Now if we get into within the home page of Vue, we have the possibility to get access to the secret property. And then here I'm going to get into, you can see we have a function update username. I'm going to pass here the current store, and then current store.secret. You're going to see that we're going to display the value within the console. And here I'm going to get into within our app, and here I'm going to click update, and then you can see the cake is a liar. And then you can see that actually on every Pinia store that we're going to be creating, we are going to have the possibility to get access to the secret property. Yeah, and now we are going to learn here how to add property to a Pinia instance. Now, in order to add property to a Pinia instance, we are going to do this. We are going to use right here. I'm going to zoom a little bit. We're going to use the Pinia instance.use, and then we're going to pass the name of the plugin. Now here I'm going to pass here, I'm going to copy this line right here, and it says right here you can add property to every store by simply returning an object of them in a plugin. I'm going to copy this, and we are going to pass it within the main.js. This is how we add a property to a Pinia instance. You can see we pass here hello, and then here, if I get into within the home page Vue, and right here I can pass here, I'm not duplicate that, and then I'm not do this, I'm not copy that, and then I pass it right here and pass here hello. And if we get into the browser again, we are going to get access to the hello property. You can see we have right here hello. This code right here, we can encapsulate it within a function. And then here you can see right here we don't pass here any parameter. Yeah, when we create a Pinia plugin, this says we have to pass a parameter if needed. The parameter is optional. We are going to go back again right here, guys. And then you can see right here on this section, this says this, where a Pinia plugin takes an optional argument, which is the context. Within the context, we have the possibility to get access to the Pinia instance, to the Vue instance, to the store, and then to the options when we need to add some options to a Pinia store. We can add a property in this way without passing right here parameter, and then I'm not duplicate that, and then I'm pass here message is a property, and then I'm pass here hello world, and here I'm going to do this, I'm not do this, guys, and then right now here I'm not remove that. We're going to return a function here like this. I'm going to remove this. And then right here, we're going to pass here the context. I'm passing the context, and then we're going to do the context in context like this, that store, and then that message. We just added a property to the Pinia store, and then I'm passing hello world, and like this. And then if we get into the browser, I'm not copy the message property, and then we can pass it right here, and then you're gonna see we're gonna have it right here within the console. I'm gonna click update, and then you can see hello world. We have two ways to add property to a Pinia instance, and we can encapsulate this logic right here within a function. I can copy that and create a function. You can see this is the first way, and this is the second way. And if you want a shorter way, you can just use destructuring. You can see that right here, this is the context return the store. We are going to go back to the doc right here. This is the context parameter returns a Pinia instance, the app, and the store. We can use destructuring as is an object and pass here store like this. And then I'm going to remove that. And then we are going to add the message property. Now we're going to learn how to add a state to a Pinia store. Yeah, we are going to go back again to the doc. We are going to scroll down, and then here I'm going to continue, and I'm gonna copy this code, and then I'm gonna put it right here. And here I'm gonna remove that, and then here I'm not get rid of that, and that all these comments I'm gonna remove that, and that too. And right here, I'm going to pass here false. And then I'm going to remove that too right here. And then you can see right here, this is how we add a state to the Pinia store. And right here, you can see the name of the state is as_error. Yeah, we pass here store that state, and then as_error is equal to false. And right here, we are going to add reactivity to the as_error property. And then we are going to use ToRef. We already learned it. We use the ToRef in order to preserve reactivity of a given property. Now right here, we pass here the store to state, and then we pass here the as_error property. Now this is how we add a state to a Pinia store. If we get into again within the home page, the Vue file, and then I pass here as_error, you're gonna see right here we are going to get access to this property. Yeah, if I click right here, you can see we got false. This is states. And here, if we get into within the Vue dev tool, you're gonna see we got these states right here. I'm gonna click on the Pinia tab, and then you can see right here we got the as_error property. But you can see right here we don't have the hello and the message property right here. You can see this is the difference. And here, when we add a property to a Pinia instance, we don't have the possibility to see it within the Vue Dev tools for debugging purpose. We don't have this possibility, but for the states, they add it automatically. Now, how can we add the property within the Vue Dev tool so that we can have the possibility to debug it? Now, we're going to go back to the doc again, and right here, we are going to scroll up, and then we are going to copy this line right here, and then we're gonna pass it here. And here, guys, we are going to use the custom properties, in order to add this property to the Vue Dev tool. And then I'm pass here, the name of the property is message, and then we are going to get into again within the browser, and then we're gonna check right here. You can see right here I'm gonna click right here. We got the here's error property. And then here we don't have right here the hello property, we don't got it. You can see right here we got the secrets property, the hello property, and the message property. Now you can see that actually we got the secrets, the hello, and the message property inside the Vue Dev tool, and we have the possibility to debug these properties. Now by default, when we create a state, they add it within the Vue Dev tool, but for the property, they don't add it. Now, in order to add it, you should use the store__ custom properties and then add the name of the property. This is how we add it. Now you can see that actually the main.js file is becoming big. We are going to end up with a file which is messy. Now, in order to make it clean, we are going to create a file per plugin. You can see this is a plugin. Now we're going to create a file for it. Now I'm going to get into within the plugin folder, and then right here I'm going to do this. I'm gonna say here's error plugin. Here's error plugin.js, and then I'm not getting to the main.js. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm putting within the here's error plugin. I'm gonna create a function exports. I'm gonna pass here export function is error plugin like this, and then I'm gonna put in this code, and right here I'm passing here is error plugin, and then we're going to pass here the store right here, and we're going to import the ToRef function. I'm going to copy that line right here. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna pass it here in order to avoid an error, and then like this, and everything is okay. Now we're going to get into we're gonna go back within the main.js, and then we're going to import this plugin. Here's error plugin, and then we have it right here. We got it right here. Now we're going to check again if we're gonna have this state within the Vue Dev tool, and then we are going to check right here. You can see I'm not getting to the count. You can see we got right here the state, here's error, and then you can see that actually we got our state, here's error. I'm going to modify the value to true and pass here true, and then we're gonna check again. And then here you can see the actual value of the error state is true, and everything is working pretty well. Now, every time you need to create a plugin, it's better to create a function. You create a function, and then you import it within the main.js. Alright guys, now we're going to be talking about the subscribe inside plugin. We are going to learn how to use it, but also we're going to learn how to use the onAction hook. We got two hooks right here. The first one is subscribe, and the second one is onAction. I'm going to copy that code, and then we're going to put it within the main.js, and then we're going to pass it right here, and I'm going to explain. You can see we got store.subscribe. We use this hook right here in order to react to store changes. If we modify, let's say, the value of a given property within a store, we modify the value of a given state within a store, we are going to run some logic right here. Let's say we are going to pass it. We can pass it the mutation, pass it mutation, and then pass it the state. And right here we're gonna do this. We are going to console.log. I'm gonna say change occur. I'm pass here change occur in store, and then I'm pass here the store. Do this and pass here store that ID like this in order to get the name of the store where we got changes. And then here I'm going to do this console.log we're going to pass here DC. I'm pass here this is the mutation, and then I'm pass here the mutation, and also I'm going to console also the state, and then this is the new state, yeah, like this, and then we're going to see what we're gonna get. Right now we are going to learn how to use, we are going to understand how the subscribe hook work. Now we're going to get into the browser, guys, and then right here we are going to modify the value of the counter. You can see right here, I'm going to do this. You can see we got here 2 button. I'm not zooming. Yeah, I'm not zooming so that you can see. You can see we have here 2 button. We have the increment and decrement. I'm going to click on increment, and then you can see within the store right here, within the console, you can see within the console we got change occur in the store counter. You can see we got the name of the store where we got changes. The name of the store is counter, and then this is the mutation. You can see we got the store ID counter, the tab direct, and you can see it returns an object, and you can see this is a new state. It returns a reactive property. And this is how the subscribe hook work. Alright guys, now gonna be talking about the onAction hook. We already learned the subscribe hook. We says that the subscribe hook, it allows to monitor Pinia state. And if I get into the browser, guys, and then I click increment, you can see we have the possibility to know which Pinia store we are actually interacting with. And here we can know even the state and pass the counts. And then you're gonna see what we're gonna get right here. I'm gonna click increment. You can see this is the new state. The new state is 1, and decrement you can see 0. Now the subscribe hook, it allows to monitor state within a Pinia store. Now the onAction hook, it allows to monitor actions inside a Pinia store. As we are clicking on the increment button, we are calling a function which is the increment. Now when we are going to click on this button, we are going to know which function we are calling inside the Pinia store. Now I'm going to pass it some parameter. I'm going to pass it the name, represent the name of the function, the args of the function, and after we're going to pass it, the after is a function, and onError is another function. When we are going to finish running our function inside a Pinia store, we are going to call the logic inside this function. And if we got an error, function return an error, we are going to call onError function. Now, right here, I'm going to pass here console.log, and then I'm going to say this is the name of the function. And then I'm passing the name. And here I'm passing here console.log. And then I pass here, this is here, right here, I'm gonna pass, you can see this is the name of the function. I'm pass here and args, I'm pass here the arguments like this. And then here, I'm going to call the after function. I'm pass here after, I'm pass it a callback. And then right here, we're gonna do this. When we are going to finish calling this function, we are going to run something like console.log. I'm pass here finished, I'm pass here finished running, I'm pass here finished running function, and then we're gonna pass here the name of the function like this. And if we got an error inside this function, we are going to call onError console.log. We got an error in, and then we're gonna pass here the name of the function like this. Yeah, like this, guys. And then if we get into the browser, you're gonna see what we're gonna get. And I'm gonna click increment, and I'm gonna clear out the console. I'm gonna click increment. You can see this is the name of the function. The name of the function is increment. You can see the arg is an array. Finish running function increment. You can see that everything is working pretty well. And right now I'm gonna comment this. And if we throw an error within this function right here, you can see increment. We throw right here an error, throw no error. Hello, I'm gonna pass here save error, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then here I'm going to go back within the browser, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get right here. On error, we are going to run this. We got an error in, and then let's see. I'm gonna click increment, And then you can see right here, we got an error in increments. And this is how we can use the onAction hook to monitor actions inside a Pinia store. Alright guys, now we're going to build the use activity tracker in order to put everything we've learned so far in practice. Throughout this exercise, you're going to learn how to use the onAction and subscribe function on real case scenario. You're going to learn how to build maintainable Pinia store. And throughout this exercise, I'm going to introduce you private state. A private state is a state that we can define within a Pinia store, but this state is read-only. It means we can get access to it, but we can't modify it. This is what we call private state. I'm going to teach you how to use it. Now, we're going to install a brand new Vue project. I've already done that, guys. You can see you know how to do it. And here we're going to go at TypeWindCSS.com/docs/installation. Once you land on this page, we're going to copy the input.css file. We're going to get into within the asset folder, and then I'm putting this content right here. And also right here, don't forget to install TypeWind CSS. The first thing you have to do, you have to type this command, and then you type npx TypeWind CSS init in order to create the TypeWind.config.css file. I'm going to copy this content, and then I'm going to put it within the TypeWind.config.js file. And then I'm going to put it right here. And here, I'm going to add another extension right here, which is the Vue. And also, we are going to go back right here. I've already copied the content inside the input.css. We are going to copy this command, and we're going to put it within the package.json file. And we are going to get in, and then we're going to add it for building our CSS build. I'm passing build CSS, and then I'm going to pass you the command. And here we are going to get into within the asset folder that input, and then we are going to create an output file, which is we're gonna call it the main.css. I'm passing here main.css. I'm going to get into within the command prompt, and here I'm passing here. First of all, I need to run my Vue app. I've already tapped npm run dev. You can see now I'm going to tap npm run build right here, run build CSS. And then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. Now I think they start building our CSS. I'm going to start creating new pages. We're gonna get into within the views folder. We're going to delete the about view file and the home view file. I'm gonna delete these two files. And in here, I'm going to create another file. I'm gonna name it off. We're gonna put in the login page. And also I'm not creating the admin file, the admin folder. And here I'm passing index. I'm passing index page .view like this. And we're gonna put in another folder, which is the pages. We're gonna put in all pages related to the admin area. And here I'm gonna put in the first page. We're gonna name it. I'm going to name it dashboard .view. I'm passing dashboard page .view. And the second page, we're gonna name it, I'm gonna name it blog post page. I'm pass it post page .view. We are going to consider the index page .view is the entry point for the dashboard page and the post page, and all other pages that we're gonna create in within the admin folder for /pages. And then here I'm passing the template tag. And then I'm passing a div, and then inside a div, we're gonna pass a router view components. The router view components, we all know that it is a built-in view components that allows to load other pages. Now I pass it there, and I'm gonna copy this code right here. I'm going to get into within the off page, and in the off page, we are going to put in the login page .view, and then I'm gonna put in this code right here. And in here I'm passing login page, and now we're going to get into within the router folder. Inside the router folder, we're going to import the login page, and actually I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to copy this code. We're going to use dynamic imports for better performance. I'm going to copy that, and then here I'm gonna pass here the path for the login page. We're gonna pass here the /, and then we're going to get into within the off folder, pass here off folder, and then we're going to pass here login page. And for the index page, we are going to pass here the index page. I'm passing admin, and then here I'm passing for the name is admin. We are going to get into within the admin folder, and then / we are going to get access we're gonna hit the index page view, and the admin this page right here we're gonna pass it children. And here I'm going to add another property, which is the children. We are going to pass it an array. I'm going to copy these three properties, the path, the name, and the components. And then I'm passing an object. And when we're going to tap / admin, we are going to load the dashboard page. I'm passing here dashboard page. We're going to get into within the pages. And then we're going to load the dashboard page. And I'm not copy that. I'm not copy that again. And then we're going to create also another page, which is the post page. I'm passing post with an S like this. And then for the name of the path, we're gonna pass here post. And then we're going to load the post page. I'm passing post page view like this. Now we're going to get into the browser in order to try if we're going to land on the login page. And then you can see right here, I'm on the login page. We got login page. Now I'm going to get into within the app view, and then we are going to delete something. I'm going to delete the header tag, and I'm going to remove all of that right here. And the CSS code, I'm gonna remove that. And then we're gonna have our login page is gonna be clean. Now we're going to design the login page. I'm going to get into within login page and pass here the class of BG. I'm going to zoom a little bit, guys. I'm passing BG slate 100, and then I'm passing H screen to take up the full screen, the full height of the screen in y-axis. I'm not delete the text login page. I'm passing another class. I'm passing the class of padding tab 30, and then I'm gonna pass it the align attribute. We're going to put our login form to the center, and I'm not getting. And in here we're going to pass you another div. We're gonna pass you the class, and pass you the class is equal to flex core. Yeah, like this. And then I'm gonna put in our first input. We're gonna pass here the placeholder attribute and say int. I'm gonna pass here enter name, and I'm gonna duplicate the input, and then I'm gonna say enter email, and we're gonna pass here the button, and then we're gonna pass here login. Now we are going to decrease the width of our login form and pass here w-width, and then I'm pass here 300 pixel like this. And then I'm going to pass some class to the login button, and then I'm pass here BG indigo, and then I'm pass here 700, and then I'm gonna pass here text white. I'm pass here the padding in y-axis. I'm pass here 2. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here 1, and then I'm pass here rounded MD, and I'm pass here shadow. Yeah, shadow MD. I'm pass here font midi. I'm pass here font semi bold like this. Yeah, we have a beautiful button. Now we are going to pass some class to our inputs. I'm gonna start with the first input, and then I'm pass here the class of margin bottom. I'm pass here 1 pixel. Yeah, I'm pass here 2 pixel. Yeah, padding in y-axis, I'm pass here 2, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna pass here text small. Yeah, padding in x-axis, I'm pass here 2. Yeah, we're gonna see. Yeah, and then I'm pass here rounded MD shadow. I'm gonna pass here shadow small, and then you can see that actually we have a beautiful input, and I'm going to duplicate that. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna pass it here like this. We are going to have 2 beautiful inputs, and then I'm pass here enter email like this, and then you can see that actually we have a beautiful login form. Yeah, we have it right here. Alright, yes, now we're gonna get into within the dashboard page. You can see actually we haven't here put in anything. I'm going to pass in the template tag, and then I'm passing the div. We're going to pass in dashboard page, and then I'm gonna copy the content. I'm gonna put it within the post page, and then I'm gonna pass here post page. We are going to get into within the index page, And in here is where we're gonna put in our navbar. And right now, in order to see what we are going to do, I'm gonna move to the admin area, guys. And then I'm pass here we are going to do this. First of all, I'm going to copy the router link. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pass here a div, and then I'm passing a nav tag, and under the nav tag we're gonna pass in another div, and then I'm gonna pass here the router view. For the first div, we're gonna pass the class, and then I'm passing a Vue State 100, and then hscreen to take up the full width in y-axis. And right here, I'm gonna pass here another class, parting tab, and then I'm passing 20, and then we're gonna see. Right now, I'm going to get into within the navbar, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna put in first the contents, and then in order to see what we are going to do, I'm passing the UL tag, li tag, and then right here I'm passing the router link like this, and then right here I'm passing router link, yeah, like this. I'm passing dashboard, yeah, passing dashboard. And then I'm passing the two attributes in order to remove the error, / I'm passing admin. I'm going to copy the li tag. I'm not duplicate it 2 times. And right here I'm passing post, and then here post like this. And right here for the third li tag, I'm going to pass here user activities, yeah, like this. And then I'm passing here you're gonna pass a user and pass here activities, yeah, activities, and then we're going to start designing the navbar. I'm gonna pass to the nav tag. I'm passing the bg white, and then I'm gonna pass you the padding. We're going to pass you the margin left. We're gonna pass here margin left, and then for the I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna remove that. And then you can see that the nav tag is inside this div right here. And for the div, I'm gonna pass you the margin right. I'm gonna say 28 pixel, and for the margin left, I'm pass here 28 pixel. Like this, you can see that actually just centered. We just put our navbar in the middle. And right here, I'm going to get into within the nav tag. And I'm gonna pass to the UL tag the class of flex, and then we are going to align rm within a row, and then I'm passing you the gap, and pass here gap, and then I'm passing two, and then you're gonna see we're going to pass here padding in y-axis, padding in x-axis, in y-axis we're gonna pass here 2, and then we're gonna see we're gonna get, and then padding in y-axis and pass here 2. Yeah, like this, we're going to pass to the navbar and pass here the class of rounded full, and pass here the class of rounded full, and then we're gonna pass here shadow and pass here empty, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna pass here small, yeah, right. For the rounded, we're gonna pass here rounded empty like this, not full, yeah, like this. And then you're gonna see now what I'm going to do. You can see that actually we just pass here some li tag. I'm going to pass you some class and pass it text small, and then bg slate, and then I'm pass you 200, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna pass here the padding in y-axis and pass here 2, the padding in x-axis and pass 2, and then I'm passing rounded md like this. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, you can see. Now I'm going to copy this class right here. I'm gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna pass it to the second li tag, and right here I'm gonna pass here the over variant. When we're gonna put our cursor over the second li tag, we are going to add the big slate 200, you can see. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the third li tag. I'm gonna copy the class attributes, and then I'm gonna pass it to the third li tag. I'm gonna pass it right here. You can see we got it right here. And then here, what I'm going to do, you can see we just pass here the nav, and then what I'm gonna do this, I'm going to wrap, I'm gonna pass here another div, and inside this div we're going to put in a button, and then we're going to move right here, we're going to move to hero icons. We are going to copy this icon, and then I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm going to get into within my text editor. I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna pass here the class of padding2 and pass here padding2 and then round it full for the button, and then we're going to pass it a variant. However, we are going to apply the class of Vue State 100, and I'm gonna pass here 200, and we're going to pass to the div where we put in our button. We're gonna pass here, we're gonna apply here the padding of 2, and then you can see that actually our button is at the right place. Now we're going to get into within the dashboard page, and then in here I'm gonna pass here the class of grid, and then I'm pass here grid calls 1, and then empty within the medium screen. We're gonna pass here grid calls, and then I'm pass here 12 like this. And for the padding between item, we're gonna pass here 2 and gap of 2, and I'm gonna put in a div right here where we are going to display a list of posts, and then I'm pass here div, and then I'm pass in an h1, and then I'm say taro, pass here taro, pass here taro here, I'm gonna pass in a p tag, and then I'm pass here lorem ipsum. And then you can see this is the text. Now I'm gonna add a class around the car right here. I'm going to pass here the class of bg white, and then shadow md, and I'm gonna pass here rounded, and then I'm pass here md, and then we're gonna add a border, and then I'm pass here padding is 2, and then we are going to pass it the margin bottom of 2. Now I'm going to add a class to the title. I'm pass here the class of text, and then to XL. In order to increase the size of the text, I'm passing margin bottom of 2. And then here for the p tag, I'm going to pass the class of text gray, pass here gray 700, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And like this, now I'm going to duplicate this div and see what we're gonna get. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm gonna duplicate it, and then you can see we got 2 car right here. The first one is right here, and this is the second one. And then you can see that actually when we change the screen size, it doesn't look pretty well. Now I'm going to fix that. I'm gonna pass you another class. I'm pass here call span pass you free, and I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm pass it to the second div. I'm gonna change the width of the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then you can see this is the first car and the second car. I'm going to increase the width. I'm gonna do this. I'm pass here call span 4, and then here I'm pass here call span 4, and then I'm going to increase right here. I'm gonna increase the padding and pass here 4, yeah, like this, and then here I'm pass here 4 too. Pass here padding 4, and then let's see what we're gonna get. Now I'm going to add a margin bottom right here. I'm gonna add a space margin bottom. I'm gonna pass it to the nav tag, and then you're gonna see we're gonna have right here margin bottom. And for the active color right here, you can see the active color is Vue State 200. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to get into within the index page. I'm gonna get in. And then in here, I'm gonna pass here, we are going to remove slate and pass here indigo. And then I'm pass here 700, and then I'm pass here font, I'm gonna pass here font, semi-bold, and then I'm pass here text white like this. And then let's see what we're gonna get. You can see this beautiful. And now we are going to copy. I'm going to get into, again, you can see that actually we're on the dashboard page, and then I'm not getting to the post page. We got anything. I'm going to get into within the dashboard page, and then in here, I'm going to copy this div, and then I'm put it within another div, pass the class of flex, and then I'm passing flex core to put item in a column, and then here I'm passing an h1. And I'm pass here the margin bottom pass here 5, and then I'm pass here dashboard, and for the text size I'm pass here text free XL, and then I'm gonna paste this div right here. Now let's see what we're gonna get, and then I'm gonna get into within the dashboard page, and then you can see I'm going to remove this padding right here. And then I'm gonna copy all this content and I put it within the post page. And then right here, I'm gonna change right here and pass here post page, post like this. And pass here list of posts like this. And then let's try to check. And then you can see this list of posts. And within the dashboard page, I'm going to remove one car. Yeah, like this. And then we're going to continue, guys. Yeah, I'm getting the post page. The dashboard page, we got one car, and then within the post page, we got two cards. Now we're going to talk about private states. Alright guys, now we're going to be talking about private states. At the beginning, we said that a private state is a state that we can create inside a Pinia store, but we don't have the possibility to modify the value of the state. It means the state is read only. We don't have the possibility to modify the value of the state, but we have the possibility to read it. Now we're going to get into within the source folder, and then in here I'm gonna pass you a custom folder, and then I'm gonna pass you another folder. I'm gonna name it theme, and inside the custom folder I'm going to put in a file. I say define. We're going to pass here define read only state like this .js, and I'm gonna pass here function export function, and then I'm say define read only state. And then we're going to pass it the ID, which is the first parameter. It represents the name of the Pinia store. We're going to pass it the props. We'll pass it the props and the setup function. And then in here, I'm going to import I'm gonna import the function define store from Pinia. And then we're going to pass it the ID. And then we're going to return right here. We're going to return right here an object like this. Now we're going to return here the setup function and pass the setup, and then inside the setup function we're going to pass it a parameter. We are going to pass in an object. We're going to pass in a reactive property, and then I'm passing props. Yeah, like this. This is how we define a read-only state. Now we're going to get into, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to get into within the theme folder, and then inside the theme folder we're going to create in a store right here, theme store.js, and then in here we're going to pass here define. We're going to import define read only state function, and then right here we're gonna pass here the name of the Pinia store. We're gonna pass here theme store, and then we're going to pass it an object. And right here, I'm going to define here the first property. I'm going to pass here theme, app theme. And then the default one is going to be light. And then I'm going to pass here toggle. We're going to pass here a Boolean value, toggle theme. And then we're going to pass it. I'm going to pass it true. Yeah, if the app theme is light, the toggle theme, we're going to pass it the value of true. And then here, I'm going to pass here the setup function. I'll pass here setup function, and then we are going to return right here an object. And in here, guys, we are going to create a computed property in order to get access to the app theme and to the toggle theme. You can see actually the setup function here. This is the third parameter of the define read only state. The setup function takes a parameter. If we get into within the define read only state.js, you can see we pass the setup function, we pass it an object. Now, in order to get access to this property, we are going to do this and pass here const and pass the app theme, and then is equal. We're gonna pass here is equal to computed property, and then here I'm gonna do this. I'm going to pass here setup. I'm gonna pass here the setup function. And then we're going to get access to an object. You can see we pass here a parameter which is setup, and then that app theme like this. And then we are going to get access to the app theme. I'm gonna copy that again. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're going to pass here the toggle theme. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna copy the toggle theme property, and then I'm pass it here like this. Now I'm going to create a function right here. I'm gonna say change theme like this, change theme, and then the change theme, we're going to do this. We are going to do this. I'm going to create right here. I'm gonna do this and pass here the setup function that we are going to get access to the toggle theme property. Yeah, is a Boolean property, and then is equal to difference of setup toggle theme like this. Yeah, we are going to switch between true and false. Yeah, like this. And there we go. I'm passing a function like this. And I'm gonna create another function. I'm gonna name it change app theme, and then function, and then I'm passing change app theme like this. And then we are going to call the change theme function inside the change app theme function. And then in here, I'm going to do this. We're gonna pass it this parameter setup, and then that app theme is equal to the, we are going to pass it is equal to the setup that tag of theme. If the value is equal to true, we are going to pass to the app theme the value of light. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass here is equal to light like this. I'm passing light. Else we're gonna pass the value of dark like this. And then you can see, and here I'm passing light like this. Now we're going to pass the app theme to the return statement. I'm passing the app theme. You're gonna pass here the tag of theme, and also you're gonna pass here the change app theme function. And here we are going to create a constant export const. We're gonna pass here use. We are going to pass here use theme store like this is equal to define read-only state. And in here, I'm going to import the computed property, not from the require function. We're going to pass here computed, import computed from Vue, and then we're going to import also the define read-only state and pass here import. And then we're going to pass here the path from, and then I'm going to copy the path right here. You can see this is the path. I'm going to pass it here. Yeah, I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to pass it here. And then we are going to remove this line right here like this. Now we are going to go back within the define read-only state, and then in here I'm going to add a little documentation right here for our parameters. And then I'm saying ID represents, and pass here represents the name of the Pinia store, and pass here Pinia store like this. The props represents, and pass here represents the properties, and the setup is a function that takes, yeah, I'm gonna pass a function that takes a parameter, yeah, like this, that takes a parameter, yeah, a parameter like this. Now we're going to go back right here. We are going to retain the Pinia store. I'm gonna pass here retain define store like this, and everything right now is okay. Now we're going to get into within the index page, and then I'm gonna pass here script tag, and then I'm passing setup. We're going to import the use theme store. We're gonna import it, and then const theme store is equal to use theme store like this. And then in here I'm gonna pass here right now. I'm gonna pass here. We are going to get access to this value and passive, yeah, theme store that app theme. We are going to add an event to our bar, and right here on click event, we're going to call a function in order to change the theme. On click event, we're going to pass a theme store that change app theme, like this. Now we're going to get into the browser, and then we're going to try this. And then let's see what we're going to get right here. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to pass it right here before the bar end. I'm going to pass it there. And then let's see what we're going to get. You can see that actually right here we got light. And then I'm going to click on the bar, and right here, you can see we got dark. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go at heroicons.com, and then we're going to look for another icon. And then I'm passing light, and then we are going to copy this icon. And in here, I'm going to pass here a component folder. I'm passing a component, and then I'm not putting the icon. I'm saying light icon, the view. And then I'm passing the template tag, and then I'm passing the icon. And also we have another icon right here, which is the dark icon. I'm gonna copy it, and then we're going to create another component. We're gonna name it dark icon, the view, and then I'm gonna pass here, we're gonna pass here the template tag, and then we're gonna pass here our icon. We're going to get into within index page, and then we're gonna import these two icons, and then I'm passing import dark icon. And I'm gonna import the light icon, and then we're going to pass you these two icons. We're going to check, we're going to do this. We're going to pass you the light icon / and then we're going to check, we're going to do this. If the app theme, the app.toggle theme is true, we are going to show up the light icon. And then what I'm going to do, I'm passing you a span tag, and then I'm passing you a if, and then we're going to pass you theme store that's toggle theme, and then we're going to pass you the toggle theme, yeah, like this, is equal to true. We are going to show, we're going to show up the light icon, and then I'm passing the light icon, and then we're going to pass you another span tag. Yeah, I'm passing you another span tag. Else we are going to else we are going to show up the dark icon, and then I'm passing dark icon, yeah, like this, and then you're gonna pass it right here. Now we're going to get into the browser, guys, and then you can see that actually we have the possibility to switch between the light theme and the dark theme. I'm going to get into within the console, and then in here I'm going to explain you what is a private state. And in here we're going to click on the theme store. You can see actually we just export only getters, but we don't export states. It means we have the possibility to get access to this state, but we can't modify these states outside of the theme store. That's it, guys. And you can see we got right here only the getters, the app theme and the toggle theme, but we don't have the possibility to modify the state. We don't have it. Now we're going to get into within right here. We're going to get into within the define read-only state. You can see right here we define a function right here. We pass the ID, the props, the setup function, and we return the define store function. We pass the ID, which is the name of the Pinia store. We return an object, and then we return the setup function. We pass it reactive properties. Now we are going to get into within theme store, and then in here we pass you, we call the function define read-only state, pass it the name of the Pinia store. We pass here reactive property, and then the setup function right here. And then here, the setup right here represents the reactive property. It is an object. If I pass here props, this is a better name than setup. The props right here is represents reactive properties. Yeah. And then in order to get access to the app theme, we can use the props arguments, and then we are going to get access to the properties, and then you can see that's it. It works pretty well. Alright, guys, now I'm gonna work on the theming. You can see actually I can switch to the lights. Now when I switch to the lights, I need to change the background color of our navbar, and as well as we're going to apply this theme. Let's say dark. We're going to change the BG of our app, and we're going to change also the BG color of our cards and even the text colors. Now we're going to get into within the theme store again, guys. And then in here, we're going to create two property. I'm pass you text, I'm pass text class, and then I'm pass it by default as if the text is light. If we are using light theme, I'm pass you text gray, I'm pass you 800. And then for the BG, we're gonna pass here BG, we're gonna pass here BG class. For the BG class, we're going to use right here, we're gonna pass here BG, we're gonna pass here BG white. Now I'm going to create two functions right here. The first one we're gonna say switch. I'm passing here switch text class, and then I'm passing a condition, pass here props, and then I'm gonna pass here toggle theme, and then I'm passing props that text class is equal. We're gonna pass here if the toggle theme is equal to true. We're gonna pass here text gray, and then I'm pass here 800. Else we're gonna pass here props that text class is equal to text white, like this. And then I'm going to copy this function. I'm gonna create another function right here. We're gonna name it switch BG class and pass it BG class, and then props that toggle theme, and then here I'm passing BG class, and here BG, and here to BG class we are going to pass here for the background color, we're gonna pass here BG white, like this. Now we are going to call these two functions inside the change app theme. I'm gonna pass it right here, the first one and the second one. And also we are going to expose these two property right here, these two reactive property, the text class and the BG class, to outside of the Pinia store. And I'm gonna copy this function, right? I'm gonna copy this reactive property, and then I'm gonna copy the text class and pass it here like this. And also we are going to create a computer property for the BG class property. I'm gonna pass it here like this, and then we're gonna pass it to the return statement. And here I'm passing the text class like this. Now we're going to get into within the index page, the view, and then in here we're gonna use the provide function in order to pass data to children elements, to children components. And then we're going to pass data to the post page, and then we're gonna pass data to the post page, the view, and to the dashboard page. And I'm passing you the key, which is the theme store, and then the value I'm passing you the theme store. We're going to get into within the post page, the view, we're gonna pass here the script tag, and then we're going to use the inject function in order to get access to the theme store. And instead of doing this, instead of calling the use theme store inside the post page, I'm going to use the inject function. And then here we're gonna create a constant theme store, and then is equal to inject. We're going to pass here theme store. Now we're going to use the theme store constant, and then we are going to have the possibility to get access to these properties. And then I'm going to start with the h1, and then in here I'm going to pass here vbounds, and I'm gonna wrap this class within single quotes, and I'm passing French balls like this, and then I'm passing plus theme store, and then I'm passing the text class like this. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the p tag. For the p tag, I'm going to pass you vbound, and then I'm gonna copy this class right here. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then I'm gonna do this and pass it plus. We are going to pass here, we are going to apply the same thing for the BG of the car. You can see this is our car right here, and I'm gonna pass here the BG. By default, we pass here the BG white, and then I'm going to do this. I'm gonna wrap all the class within a single quotes, and then I'm gonna remove BG white, negator of that, and then I'm pass here space, and then plus, and then I'll pass here BG class like this, BG class, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And you can see I'm gonna remove that, and then we're going to get into the browser, and actually you can see right here we got an error. I'm gonna remove double plus, and then we're gonna get into the browser, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. I'm going to refresh the page, and then in here you can see actually we got an error. And then we're going to get into the console, and then right here you can see cannot read properties of undefined BG class within the post page. We are going to go back right here. You can see we are going to pass here setup, and then we are going to remove the error. I'm gonna refresh again, and then we are going to try to tag a theme. I'm gonna click dark, and then you can see right here we just apply right here the dark theme. Doesn't work pretty well. You can see, yeah, it doesn't work pretty well. And then here light dark, and then yeah, it doesn't work pretty well. I'm going to get into within the theme store again, and then we're going to fix something right here. And here we're going to pass here BG gray, and then if we are going to pass here BG white. We're going to pass here BG white like this, yeah, BG white, and then here we're gonna pass here BG gray 100 like this. Now we're gonna try it again, and then you can see that actually it works pretty well. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the background color of our app, and as well as to the background color of the navbar. We're going to get into again within the index page. And in here, we're going to pass here the theme store. I'm going to remove that. And then we're going to pass here the vbounds. And then here, we are going to wrap the h1, the hscreen class within a single quotes. And then I'm pass here, I'm going to pass here space. And then I'm pass here the theme. I'm going to pass here the theme store. And then I'm pass here BG and pass here BG class. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to pass it to the navbar. I'm going to pass here vbounds, and then I'm going to wrap all the class within the single quotes. I'm going to get rid of the bg white class. I'm going to remove that bg white, and then here I'm going to pass you we're going to pass here theme store, that's bg class, and I'm going to do the same thing right here. We're going to pass here. I'm going to check again. I'm not getting to the browser, and then we're going to see what we're going to get. Right here we got our button right here, it works. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the button right here, because right now we don't see it. And here I'm going to pass here for the button. We are going to pass here the text color, and I'm going to wrap all the class within the single quotes again. And then I'm pass here a space, and then I'm pass here, I'm going to pass here theme store, and then I'm pass here text class like this. And then let's see what we're going to get. And here right now, before I get into the browser, I'm going to move within the post page, and then we're going to do the same thing for the h1 right here, list of posts. I'm going to wrap it within the h1, and then I'm pass here this class, which is the theme store, and then I pass here text class. Pass here text class like this, and then we're going to get into the browser again. And then we can see our button right here, which is this button allows to switch between the dark and the light theme. And then it works pretty well. Now I'm going to work on the link tag. We're going to pass here something. I'm going to get into within the index page. And then we're going to change something here. You can see we pass here the link. And the text right here, the current text right here is text white. And I'm gonna pass here something for the overcolor, and then I'm gonna wrap all the class within a single quotes again, and then I'm pass here space here, pass here space, and then we're gonna pass here the theme store, and then I'm pass here the text class like this. And then I'm going to copy it. We're going to pass it to the second li tag. I'm going to wrap all the class within the single quotes. And then I'm going to pass it here. I'm going to pass it here, guys. And I'm pass here vbounds like this. Now let's all check again. You can see that actually it works pretty well. Yeah, it's beautiful. Now I'm going to remove this car right here, because we are going to create a component that we're going to iterate through. And then we are going to do this. I'm going to get rid of the second car right here, and we are going to use only the first car. And like this, everything is working pretty well, but except for the BG right here. You can see we're going to change the color BG slate. When we are going to, you can see actually when we are hovering the li tag, you can see we have the BG slate. We are going to change this color to BG indigo. And then I'm going to change it. We're going to go back within the index page. And then in here, I'm going to pass here indigo. I'm going to pass here indigo. And then I'm going to pass here 700. I'm going to copy the same class. We're going to pass it to the third li tag. And then you're going to see what we're going to get. You can see right here, we got indigo. Now, guys, you can see when I'm changing the theme. And then if I refresh the page, we are going to lose the theme that we just set. Now, in order to do not lose the theme that we just set, we are going to use local storage. I'm going to get into within the theme store. We are going to create right here function set theme to local storage and pass the local storage. And then inside this function, we are going to pass here local storage, and then we'll pass here setrm, and then I'll pass here theme data. We're going to pass here json.stringify. And then we're going to pass in an object. The first one is app theme, and then I'll pass here props, and then I'll pass here app theme like this. And the second one is we're going to pass here toggle theme, and then I'll pass here props.toggle theme like this. Now we're going to create another function that we're going to use in order to retrieve this value that we just set within the local storage. We're going to pass here get theme data from local storage, And then in here, we're going to create a constant theme data. And then we're going to pass here local storage. And then I'm passing here get item. I'm passing the theme data like this. And then I'm going to check if the theme data, I'm going to check if the type of the theme data is not an object. It means we're going to check if it doesn't return null. I'm passing it's different from an object. And then in here, we are going to get into within the if statements. We are going to do this. We're going to pass here parse theme data, and then is equal to json.parse, and then I'm passing here the theme data. And then we are going to do this. I'm going to pass here props that, and then we're going to pass here props that, and then we're going to pass here the tag of theme property, and then we're going to pass here parse theme data, and then we're going to pass here the tag of theme property. I'm going to pass it right here and like this. And then we are going to call the get theme data from the local storage. We're going to pass it to the return statement. We are going to call this function when we are going to mount the component to the DOM. We're going to pass it inside the unmounted hook. And then for the set theme to local storage, we're going to pass it inside the change app theme and pass it here. And then I'm going to comment this. I can let it like this. I'm not getting to first within the index page. I'm going to pass here unmounted hook. I'm passing unmounted hook. And in here, we're going to pass here theme store, and then we're going to pass here get. We're going to pass here. I'm going to go back within the theme store, and then we're going to call the get theme data from local storage. And then I'm pass it here. And now here, guys, I'm not getting rid of that. I'm not getting rid of this line. And then I'm pass here another class on hover. We're going to pass here text gray, and then I pass here 700. And now we are going to add something again within the get theme data from local storage. I'm not passing these two functions, switch test class and switch bg class function. I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm pass it inside the if statement, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then I'm gonna try to refresh the page, and then we're going to see if we're going to lose the theme that we just set. We don't lose it. And then I'm gonna refresh the page again, and then you can see it works pretty well. Alright, yes, now we're going to learn how to create a maintainable Pinia store. Before we start, I'm going to refactor the index.py file. And here, I'm going to create a component for the UL tag. I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to get into within the component folder. I'm passing links.vue, and then I'm passing you the template tag, and then I'm not passing the UL tag. We're going to pass here the script tag, pass here setup. And we're going to define a prop for our components and pass it define prop macro. And then I'm going to pass it an array of prop. We are going to pass it one prop. And we're going to pass here the theme store. And like this, now I'm going to create an array right here. I'm going to name it links. We are going to pass it links. The first one, I'm going to pass it an object. And then here I'm pass it the name. And then for the path, we're going to pass here /admin. I'm going to copy this object. I'm not duplicate it 2 times. And pass it here and here too. And then here for the second path, I'm going to pass it pause. And for the path is pause. And for the third one is activities. And for the path is user activities. Now we're going to iterate through the links array. I'll pass here v4. And then we're going to pass the link in links. And in here, we're going to pass here the key attribute. We're going to pass the link that path. We pass here path to the key attribute because the path is going to be unique. And as you know, the key attribute takes a unique value. Now I'm going to pass you we're going to pass here link that name. And here we're going to pass to the 2 attributes. We're going to pass here link that path. And now we are going to get into within the index.py file. And then we are going to import these components. I'm going to delete the UL tag. And here I'm going to pass here import links like this. And then we're going to pass here links like this. And then we're going to pass it the prop. The prop is the theme store, and pass it theme store is equal to theme store. Yeah, like this. Now, if you get into the browser, you're going to see we just import our links component, and you can see that actually all our li tags has a bg indigo. Now, in order to remove that, I'm going to show you something. We're going to inspect, and then you can see here, if I get into within the link of Vue components, and you can see we just pass inside the li tag, we pass in the router link. The router link component right here is an env tag. You're gonna see, you can see right here, I'm not showed you, the router link is an env tag. And once we visited a given link, they apply to the router link a class which is the router link exact active. I'm going to copy this path right here. I'm gonna copy it, and then we're going to create a style tag inside the links that Vue component. We're gonna pass a style like this, style scope style, and then we pass here an attribute scope, which means that the CSS code is gonna be applied only inside the links that Vue components. And then here we're gonna pass the active, and here now, and here we are going to pass here hover now, hover. And then I'm going to copy this CSS code, right? I'm gonna pass it inside the router link exact active. And then I'm gonna copy the class, the CSS code for the fence, for the fence semi-bolts class, and pass it here. Let's try to give it a shot and see what we got right here now. And you can see right now we got a BG right here. If we visit the dashboard page, you can see we just apply the BG indigo to a given path, to the li tag. Now I'm going to improve the design, guys. I'm gonna copy the PY, the padding in axis. I'm gonna copy this code right here, this CSS code, and then we're gonna add it right here. We are going to copy the code of the px2. We're gonna copy also the code of the rounded empty. I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm passed here, and then you're gonna see, yeah, we got a beautiful background right here. And then if you visit the post page, you can see that we just apply the BG indigo of the active path, and it works pretty well. Now we're gonna start learning how to create a maintainable pinia. So we're going to get into within the source folder. I'm not creating the pros folder. Inside the pros folder, I'm gonna put in some files. The first one, we're gonna name it query. We're gonna name it query poster.js. Inside the query poster.js, we're gonna put in actions that can request data from the server. I'm gonna put in another file, mutation poster.js, and I'm gonna put in a helper folder, a helper file, post helpers. Inside the helpers folder, we can put in a function that can transform data that we got from the server. And I'm gonna put in the plugin folder. Plugin folder, we are going to put in all plugins related to the post folder. And I'm going to create the last file right here, and I'm gonna name it index.js. We are going to import the mutation poster and the query poster.js inside the index.js, and it's where we're going to import this file from our Vue files. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna get into first within the query poster.js, and in here I'm going to import the define store function. Yeah, define store from Pinia, and we're going to create a Pinia store, a constant use. We're gonna name it use query poster. Pass it poster is equal to define store. We're gonna pass it the name is query poster like this, and then I'm going to return I'm gonna pass a function. We're going to return right here an object, and the first thing first, we are going to create a reactive property. We're gonna name it post, and it's gonna be an array. I'm gonna assign it array. Now I'm going to create a function right here. We are going to use it in order to fetch data from the server. I'm passing a sync function. I'm passing a sync function, and then fetch post data. And we are going to use fetch API const res is equal to await. And then here I'm passing fetch. We're gonna pass here the URL. And here we're gonna pass the data is equal to await res.json, and like this I'm passing await. I'm going to wrap that within the try catch block. I'm passing try catch, and then I'm pass it here, and we're going to pass here post reactive property that value here, that value is equal to data. We are going to interact with this endpoint right here. You can see these endpoints return an array of ports. I'm gonna copy the endpoints, and then I'm gonna pass it here and pass it here. And then once we got this data, we're gonna pass it to the post reactive property. And in case we got an error, we're gonna pass here console.log that message like this. And I'm gonna create another reactive property right here. I'm gonna name it loading, and then we're gonna assign it a boolean value. We're gonna assign it false. Now let's pass the post reactive property. We're gonna pass it to the return statement, and then here I'm pass here return, and here we're gonna pass here the loading reactive property, and we're gonna pass also the fetch post data function. We're gonna pass it to the return statement, and we haven't yet used the loading reactive property. When we're gonna start fetching data, we're gonna pass it the value of true, and then I'm gonna copy it. In case we finish fetching data from the server, we're gonna pass here false, and in case we got an error, we're gonna assign it the value false. Now we're going to export. So we're going to export right here the use query post store, and then we're going to import it inside the index.js file and pass you export from use query post store. And I'm going to copy right here. I'm going to copy the path, and then we're going to pass it here. We are going to get into within the post page.vue file, and then in here, guys, since we got an error right here, and here I'm passing you from, and then we're going to get into within the post page.vue file. In here, we're going to import the use query post store, and I'm gonna create a constant and pass you query post store is equal to use query post store like this. And we're going to import the unmounted hook right here. We're going to pass here a sync because we're going to put in the fetch data function, the fetch post data function return a promise. And here we are going to pass here, we're going to call this function pass here query post store.js, query post store that fetch post data. Like this, you can see it returns a promise. And then here I'm going to, via the query post store, we are going to extract the loading property. We're going to pass here loading property, and also we're going to extract the post. And we're going to use the StoreToRefs function in order to keep the loading property reactive and the post property reactive. We are going to pass here query post store like this, and then we are going to iterate through this array of posts. And here I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass you v4. I'm going to pass you v4, and then I'm passing post in post like this. We're going to pass here the key attribute is equal to the post.id. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass here the post content where we got the p tag post content. And here you're gonna pass here post title like this, post title, and there we go. Now I'm going to create a component for the post card right here in order to make the post page clean. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're going to get into within the pages folder. We're gonna pass here components, and inside the component folder, I'm gonna name it post list.vue. I'm gonna pass here the template tag. And then here we are going to do this. We are going to pass here the script tag and pass here setup to use Vue composition API. And then we are going to use the define prop macro to define a prop. And then I'm pass here post like this with an S. Like this. And right now we don't got any issue, guys. And then here you can see I'm going to format this page, and then it seems we got an error right here. Let me pull my case element is missing end tag. We are going to pass you an end tag. We don't pass you an end tag, guys. Pass here div like this. Yeah, we are going to, I'm gonna copy this and tag right here, and then we're going to remove the error. Now we're gonna go back within the post page, and then in here we're going to import the post list components, import post list, pass it post list components, and then we're gonna pass it here, pass it post list / then we are going to pass it the prop, which is the post, which is an array, and then we're going to pass here post like this. And there we go. Now we're going to get into the browser, and then we're going to give it a shot. And then I'm going to refresh right here the page. And then let's see what we got within the console. And then here it seems we got an error. You can see right here we got an error. Reference error ref is not defined inside the query store.js. I'm not getting, and then we're going to import the ref right here. We are going to import it from Vue, and then pass here ref. Yeah, we import it, and then we're gonna fix the error. I'm gonna refresh again, and then you can see that actually just fetched data. And then right here you can see, yeah, we don't got data right here, guys. Yeah, I'm going to try to debug that, and then you can see we don't got data. We are going to debug this. We're gonna get into within the post page, and then in here I'm gonna pass here this and pass here post array, and then let's try to see what we're gonna get. And then it seems right here I'm gonna change the theme. We got right here an empty array. I'm gonna get into the console, and then you can see we got an error inside the post list of Vue components. Now we're going to pass another property to the post list of Vue components. Pass here another prop, which is the theme store like this. And because you can see we are getting access to the text class and to the BG class, and we are going to go back within the post page Vue. We are going to pass another prop to the post list components and pass here the theme store is equal to the theme store. Pass here is equal to the theme store, and then we are going to remove this error, and then here and pass here / like this. And then we're gonna go back within the browser, and then we're gonna try to check again. I'm gonna refresh the page, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. Yeah, we got data. And then here I'm going to remove that, and then we're going to display a list of posts. Right here you can see that actually just display data, but the data is displayed within a column. We are going to change the display, guys. We're going to get into again within the post list page. We're going to copy the v4 directive. We're going to pass it to the second div. And then you're going to see we display data within a row. And also we got some issues. You can see at the bottom when we switch to the dark theme, we got the BG is white. And in order to fix that, we're gonna get into within the index page of Vue, and in here you're gonna pass here a div tag, and then I'm putting another div. We are going to put the router view component inside the second div. I'm gonna copy this class right here in order to apply the margin. You can see actually if I get into the browser, we don't apply the margin left and the margin right. And I'm gonna pass this class right here, and then we are going to add the margin. Yeah, and then you can see we still have the BGY at the bottom. Now we are going to copy this class right here, and then we're going to pass it to the first div to apply the same background. And then I'm going to remove that, and then you're going to see we got the same background color. Now for the nav right here, the link isn't visible when we switch to the live theme, you can see. And then in order to fix that, we are going to get into within the links of Vue components and pass here first the over variant, and then we are going to pass to the class attribute vbound, and then we are going to wrap all the class within a single quotes like this. And then I'm pass here plus theme store, and then that's text class. And for the class right here within the style tag, we're gonna pass here for the active link, we're gonna pass the color, we're gonna pass here white like this. And then you're gonna check again, Now I'm gonna switch to the light. You can see, actually we can see the link. You can see right here, you got dashboard, posts, and activities. You can switch to the light, to the dark, and everything is working pretty well. Now we're going to add right here. You can see this is the content of a given post. I'm going to add another button right here, which is the read more button. When we're going to click on the button, we are going to move to the single post page in order to see the details of a single post. And then here, what I'm gonna do, we are going to get into again within the post list view. Under the p tag, I'm gonna pass here router link, and then here I'm passing /, and then I'm passing router link again, like this, and then we're gonna pass here read more. When we are going to click on this page, we're gonna move to the single post page. I'm pass here vbounds, and then we're gonna pass here single post is the path /, and then we're gonna pass here post.slag, and we're going to create this page within the page folder and pass here single post.vue file. And right now we haven't yet imported this file within the router folder. I'm not getting, and then we are going to create right here the path, pass here single post, and then /, and then we're gonna pass here slag, semicolon slag, and then here we're gonna pass here single post.vue file, and here you're gonna pass here single post. Now I'm going to get into within the query post store.js, and in here I'm going to create a method that we're gonna call in order to display the data of a single post. And here I'm gonna create another reactive program. I'm gonna name it post is equal to ref. We're gonna assign it an empty object. And then here, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna create a function view single post. We're gonna pass the ID and the slag of the post, and then we are going to check if we got data within the local storage and pass here post data, and then we're going to pass here local storage that's get item, and then I'm pass here post, and here we're gonna pass here this slag like this. If we don't get data of a single post within the local storage, we are going to retrieve data from this array right here, from the post array. And what I'm gonna do right here, we're going to pass here, we're gonna check if the post data variable is not null. And then in order to check if it's not null, we're gonna try to check the type if it's not an object. And then we are going to do this and pass here. If it's not null, we are going to pass the data. And then I pass here post data is equal to JSON that parse, and then we're passing the post data, and then we're going to return the part. We're gonna return right here the parse post data. And instead of returning the data, we're gonna pass it to the post reactive property that value is equal to parse post data, like this. Else we are going to, if the post data is null, we are going to set the data within the local storage. And I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pass here local storage that CRM. We're gonna pass here post.slag like this. And then we're going to retrieve the data of a single post within the post array. And here I'm passing filtered post array like this. And then I'm passing post that value that filter. We're gonna pass here filter, and we're gonna pass here the post that ID is equal to the ID that we pass within the view single post is parameter. And then we are going to do this. We're gonna pass here post. We're gonna check first if we got the data that's length is greater than 0, and then we're gonna pass here post that value is equal to the filtered array. We are going to retrieve the first item like this, and then we are going to return the view single post. We're gonna pass it here, and also we are going to return the post reactive property. Now we are going to get into within the single post.vue file, and then in here we are going to put in the content of the post page.vue file. We're gonna put it in it, and then here I'm gonna change the name of the page, pass a single post, and we're going to comment the post list components, and I'm gonna remove that. We are going to pass it. We're gonna extract the post reactive property. We're gonna use the use root composable in order to get access to the Slack. Pass a use roots like this, and then I'm passing a const. And then Slack is equal to roots that parents. Pass you roots that parents that, and then we're gonna pass a Slack. We are going to call this function, which is the Vue single post. We pass the ID and then the Slack. Now, as we don't have the possibility to get access to the ID, I'm going to remove right here the ID, and then we're going to use the Slack and pass the Slack, and then here Slack 2, and then we're going to go back within the single post view, and then we're going to pass here Vue single post, yeah, like this. And then we're going to pass here the Slack. Now we are going to display data. You can see we have a component right here, which is the post list. I'm not getting, and then I'm gonna copy the contents. I'm gonna copy this content, and then I'm gonna put it within the single post view file. We're gonna pass it right here and pass it here, and then we are going to display data. We are going to get rid of the v4 directive. I'm gonna remove that, and then here I'm gonna increase the width right here and pass a core span 6 like this, and then we're gonna keep the theme store and then the post reactive property. It is the same, and then I'm gonna remove the router link and then see what we got. You can see if we refresh the page, it seems we got an error within the router view. And then right here, we're going to get into first within the index.js file, and we have a tuple to this path. We should pass here an n, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then you're gonna see, you can see actually you don't got data. You can see we have an error within the query poster.js, and set rm on storage, 2 argument required but only 1 presence. And then we are going to fix that. We're going to go back within the query poster.js, and then in here we are going to pass here for the value. We're going to pass in an object. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to pass it within the if statement, and I'm going to copy this object right here. We're going to pass it like this. It is an object, and then we're going to use JSON stringify, and then we're going to pass in the filtered array, yeah, like this. And I'm not getting to the browser, and then you can see we display data. We are going to move to the post page, and then in here we have the possibility to move to a single post page. You can see understanding CSS, and then you can go back to the post page, and actually guys, you can see the button right here, read more, isn't visible. We are going to pass it a color. I'm not getting to within the post list, the view file, and I'm passing a class, and then text indigo. I'm passing indigo. I'm gonna pass a text indigo, and then I'm gonna pass here 700 and hover variant underline like this, and then I'm passing a font semi bold like this, and then we're going to add here the color. You can see we got right here read more. Now we can click on a single post, and actually you can see that we don't make a NetP request to the server, and even though we refresh the page, we are not going to make a NetP request to the server because we just put the data of single post within the local storage. You can see if we got the data within the local storage, we're going to retrieve it within the local storage. If we don't got the data within the local storage, we are going to retrieve it from the array, and then we're going to set it, we're going to put it within the local storage, so that once again, if we need it, we are going to retrieve it immediately from the local storage. Now guys, we are going to create a Pinia plugin that is going to track how many posts a given user has read on our blog post. Let's say a user came on our blog post for the first time, and then the user clicked on the read more button. We are going to say the user read one post. If the user click on the second post, we're going to say 2. For the third post, we're gonna say 3, and so on. And now we're going to create a Pinia plugin. First, we're gonna create 2 Pinia plugins. The first one, we are going to set the maximum number of posts a given user can read on our blog post. The second one is gonna track how many posts the user has read. If the user has already reached the threshold, we are going to send a message to the user. A user cannot read another blog post. We're gonna create the first Pinia plugin to set the maximum number of posts a given user can read on our blog post. Set max posts to read like this, .js. I'm gonna copy the name. We're gonna get in. We're going to export this function, and then here we're gonna pass in an object, and then we're going to pass in the store that's max post to read. Yeah, like this, and then is equal to 5. Yeah, like this. Now we're going to get into within the main.js file, and then we're going to import this Pinia plugin. We're gonna pass here create Pinia, and then we are going to pass it to the Pinia instance. Use when I say set max post to read. Yeah, like this, and then we are going to pass the Pinia instance to Vue. We're gonna pass it to the Vue instance. We're gonna get into within the dashboard page, and then in here we are going to pass here the script tag. We're going to import right here the theme store. I'm gonna pass here const theme store is equal to use theme store, and then here we're gonna pass here the v-bounds, and then we're gonna wrap this class within a single quotes, and then I pass a theme store that text class like this. And then for the title right here, I'm gonna pass here read verse. We're gonna pass here read verse max like this. And then here I'm gonna pass here a div tag. And for the text size, we're gonna pass here 2 XL. And then I pass here even 3 hyphen, and then I pass here 7 like this. And then let's see what we got right here. And then we're gonna move to the dashboard page, and then you can see read verse max. And for the text right here, we're gonna pass here. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm pass it here too. And we are going to wrap the rest of the class within a single quotes, and then we're gonna pass here v-bounds like this, and then like this, guys. And then I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Yeah, we're gonna pass here v-bounds. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wrap the rest of the class within a single quotes, and then what I'm gonna add here space, and then you can see it's gonna change right here. You can see read verse max. Now we're gonna get into the plugins folder. We're gonna define a Pinia plugin. We're gonna name it user has reached thresholds like this, thresholds.js. Yeah, .js. We are going to get in, and we're going to create a function user has reached thresholds. We're gonna pass it an object. We are going to extract the store, and then in here we are going to create a reactive property. We're gonna name it thresholds, and then we're gonna assign it false. I'm gonna assign it ref like this, and the default value is gonna be false. Now right here we are going to create the state inside a Pinia store by using the store.state, and then we're gonna pass here thresholds. We're gonna assign it thresholds reactive property. Now right here, guys, in order to transfer this reactivity inside a Pinia store, we're going to use ToRef function. And then here I'm pass here store.thresholds like this is equal to ref in order to transfer the reactivity. And then we're gonna pass here store.states, and then we're gonna pass the name of the property, which is the thresholds like this. I'm gonna copy the name, and then I'm pass it here. And also I'm gonna create another state inside a Pinia store. I'm gonna name it user actions, and then here we're gonna pass the user actions, and we are going to assign it an empty object. And then I'm gonna copy it and pass it here, and then like this, user actions. Now inside the user actions, we are going to store in the key and the value. We're gonna consider the user actions as a hash map, and this is the structure. We are going to pass here the key and the value right here, and the val, and then right here the key here is gonna be the name of the user. we're gonna pass here name and pass here name of user, and then the value we're gonna pass here even 2, and we're going to say the user has already read 2 posts. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do right here. We're gonna consider the user actions React property as a hash map. Now we're gonna create another Pinia plugin right here. I'm gonna name it monitor actions like this, and then the JS, and then I'm gonna copy the name we're gonna get in. We are going to export this Pinia plugin. I'm gonna name it monitor actions. We are going to extract the store. Inside the monitor actions function, we are going to use onAction hook in order to track to know which function the user is calling. And then here I'm we're gonna pass here store that's onAction. I'm gonna pass here onAction. And then we are going to extract some property like the name of the function that the user is calling. We're going to pass here the arguments, and then we are going to extract also on error property. In case we got an error, we are going to do something. And then right here I'm passing here on error function. I'm passing a callback. I'm going to pass here a callback like this. Yeah, we are going to go back inside the monitor actions, and then here we're gonna return right here an object and pass here console.log. We're gonna say error AK inside the name of the function. I'll pass you error occurred in, and then we're gonna pass here the name of the function. We're gonna pass here that name. Now right here we are going to check if the name of the function is equal to the Vue single post page. We're gonna pass here this name Vue single post. This is the name of the action. If the user call this action, we are going to check how many times the user has read a post on our blog post. Now what I'm gonna do right here, I'm going to make a check right here. I'm gonna create right now. First of all, I'm gonna create a hash map and pass here const hash map, and we are going to assign the hash map to the user read action. Hash map, we're gonna assign it an object, and I'm gonna create another constant. Username is equal to Ben, and then here what I'm going to do, I'm gonna do this. We are going to check if the name property, if username property, if the username constant in hash map exists within the hash map. We are going to run something inside the if statement. Else, we are going to add the user name inside the hash map. We're gonna pass here hash map, and then I pass here username, and we're gonna pass the value. And like this. Now, if the user exists, we are going to check first of all if the user has already reached the threshold. We're gonna pass here hash map, and then we're gonna get access to the value, and then is equal to the store that we are going to copy this value right here, max post rate. I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm pass it here, pass it there, and then inside this condition right here, if the user has already reached the threshold, we're gonna pass here console.log user has already reach threshold, and pass here reach threshold like this. And then in here we are going to do this. We're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna pass here store that state and pass that state, and then that threshold, threshold is equal to true. And also we are going to copy this property right here. We're gonna get into within the user has reached threshold.js. I'm gonna copy the user actions. It is an object. And then what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna assign it the hash map object, and I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna do this store that state user actions, and then I'm gonna assign it the hash map like this. And if the user hasn't already reached the threshold, we are going to do this. We're gonna increase the value by 1. I'm gonna copy this, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna pass here hash map, and then that username +1 like this. Now we are going to import these two Pinia plugin inside the main.js file, and I think everything is clear, guys. Now we're gonna get into within the main.js file, and here we're going to import this Pinia plugin, pass here Pinia that use and then pass here user has already reached the and pass here user has reached threshold. And also we're gonna import the second action, which is the monitor actions.js. I'm passing use, and then I'm passing monitor actions. Yeah, like this. Now we're gonna go back within the dashboard page right here. We're gonna get into within the views folder, and then right here, guys, we are going to get access to these properties. And right here we can use even the store right here. You can see we got two store right here, query post store.js and the theme store. We can use even the theme store in order to get access to these properties, because when we create a Pinia plugin, we just added these property or states to every Pinia store that we're going to be creating. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use even the theme store, and then we're going to pass here, I'm going to try to debug, I'm going to pass here theme store, we're going to pass here theme store, and then we're going to pass here thresholds, and pass here fresh. Yeah, I'm going to copy the property right here. We're going to copy the threshold, and also we're going to pass it to user actions. Now I'm going to pass here thresholds. I'm going to copy that again, and then we're going to see what we're going to get. And right here, I'm going to pass here user actions. And right here, guys, inside the monitor actions, I'm going to go back within, I'm going to get into first inside the set max post to read.js file, and then here I'm gonna decrease the number of, I'm gonna decrease this number, I'm gonna pass it 2, and then we are going to see what we're gonna get. Now we are going to get into the browser, guys, and then right here you can see, yeah, I'm gonna switch to the dark theme. Yeah, it doesn't work. And then I'm gonna get into the console in order to check if we do not have an error. And then right here you can see on error is not a function. We're going to fix that. We're gonna get into within the monitor actions, and right here we pass here on error, and then we should remove one R right here like this, and then we're going to remove the error. Yeah, I think everything is okay. And you can see that actually right here, I just opened my Vue Dev Tools. You can see right here at the bottom, I just open it. It's at the bottom. Now you can do the same thing. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna switch the theme. I'm gonna switch to the dark, and then you can see right here we got false for the threshold, and we got right here an object. It is empty. Now let's try to read a post. I'm gonna click right here. Yeah, I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna read again, and then I'm gonna read again, and then now let's move to the dashboard page and see what we got right here. Right here we got false, the value doesn't change, error, and then yeah, it doesn't change. And right here we pass here threshold, we pass here true, and here we assign it a map. Now let's try to debug this, guys, and then we are going to check that. And right here, I'm gonna check right here, we pass here thresholds, everything is correct right here, pass here thresholds, and right here too, everything is okay. Now we are going to get into the console, and then we're gonna check again. I'm not getting, and then right here we're gonna check, right here we are going to check, and right now I'm gonna refresh the page, and then let's try to see what we're gonna get. Yeah, I'm not come over here, and then I'm gonna read a post for the first time. I'm gonna read it again for the second time, and then for the third time you can see user has already reached the thresholds. User has already reached threshold. Now if we move to the dashboard page, you can see right here we got false right here, and we are using right here the theme store. The theme store, properties of the theme store are read only. They can't be modified private states. Now we are going to use another Pinia store right here. You can see we use right here the theme store. I'm gonna use the post store right here. I'm gonna pass here post store. Pass here post store is equal to use query post store. And then right here you can see this property doesn't change right here. This property, these two properties, the thresholds and the user action, they don't change because properties of the theme store are private. They can't change. Now we're going to use the post store in order to modify this value. We're gonna pass here the post store. Yeah, like this. And then we're gonna try it again. I'm going to refresh the page. And then right now we are going to move to the post page. And then I'm gonna click read. I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna click read again. I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna click read again. You can see we got right here, user has already reached threshold. Now we're gonna move to the dashboard page. And then you can see right here we got true. And here we got Ben. Ben has already reached the thresholds. Now let's display the number of times the user Ben has read the post, and also we're gonna display the max post rate. And right here, I'm gonna copy this value right here. We're gonna pass at the left, and then we're going to pass here. We're gonna pass here the property, and in order to display the value, we need to pass. I'm gonna create a constant. I'm gonna assign it Ben, and then I'm gonna pass here username like this, and also we're going to copy this value right here, max post rate. I'm gonna copy it, and then we're gonna pass it here, yeah, like this, and then I'm gonna remove 7 here like this, and then you're gonna see we got right here nothing, and I'm gonna explain you why we got nothing right there. And you can see actually the value right here, when we refresh the page, we refresh the browser, the value disappear. We don't keep the value inside the local storage. That's why we got right there undefined. We got right here undefined. And as right here, let me show you. I'm gonna do this. You're gonna see what we got there. You can see we got an empty object. Yeah, we got right here Ben, and then here we are going to pass here Ben. And then you're gonna see what we're gonna display. We're going to display right there 2. Yeah, let's check again. And then we got, I'm gonna refresh, and then we're gonna try it again. Yeah, I'm gonna move to the post page. We're going to click read, and then I'm gonna go back read, and then I'm pass here read again, and then we're gonna move to the dashboard page. You can see right here we got 2. Now in case the property Ben doesn't exist, we are going to display 0. Let's say I pass here benix, and then you can see we're going to display here nothing. Now, in order to display even 0, we are going to use the nullish coalescing operator. I'm pass here a question mark, and then I'm pass here 0 in case this property doesn't exist inside the user actions objects. We are going to display 0. It works. And then I'm gonna pass here Ben again, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. We got right here 2. And if I refresh the page, we're gonna have right here 0 because we don't store this value inside the local storage. Now we're going to move to the post page, and then right here I'm not getting to within the single post page. We are going to check if the user has reached the threshold. If the value is false, the user can have the possibility to rate a given post. If the value is true, the user cannot rate this post. Now we're gonna get into within the single post page. And then in here, we are going to, I'm gonna make right here condition and pass here viv, and then I'm gonna copy. We're going to copy this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this div right here, and then I'm pass here viv. Yeah, viv. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pass here viv, and then we're gonna pass here the query. We're gonna pass here query poster that thresholds. Yeah, thresholds. If the query poster thresholds is equal to false, we are going to display this div, else we are going to add it. And then I'll create another div, and right here I'm pass here v else like this, and then I'm pass here already reach the thresholds. Yeah, like this, the thresholds. And then we're going to display this message to the user, and I'm gonna pass here a class. and pass a class text white. Yeah, text white. And then let's see what we're gonna get. And then I'm trying to read again a post right here. You already reached the threshold. Let's try to see. I'm gonna refresh again, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. If I come to the post page and I try to read this post right here, and then you can see we have the possibility to read this post, but when we are going to read the thresholds, we are not going to get the possibility. And then here I'm gonna copy everything inside this div. I'm gonna copy all the class right here, the class attributes. I'm gonna copy it, and then we're gonna pass it here and pass it here like this. And then right here we're gonna pass here the bg. We're gonna pass here the bg, pass here bg red like this, and then I pass here bg red 500 like this. And then we're gonna see what we're gonna get, bg class. And then here I'm gonna remove this. and pass here text class instead. Yeah, like this. And then let's try to see what we're gonna get. And then we are going to read the post again in order to see if we're going to reach the threshold. Yeah, you can see you already reached the threshold, and the user doesn't have the possibility to read again the post, the entire post. Alright guys, now we're gonna work on the activities page. You can see actually if you move to the use activities page is empty. We haven't imported anything. Now we're gonna create this page first. We're going to get into within the pages. We're gonna name it user activities. And then I'm gonna pass here the view. We are going to copy the content inside the single post.vue file, and then we're gonna put in inside the use activity. We are going to I'm gonna pass here the title of the page is user activities, and like this. And then I'm gonna remove this div right here. We're gonna get rid of that. And then we are going to get rid of the VLs right here, and then like this. Now what we are going to do, we are going to import this page within the router.js. And now we're gonna get in, and then we're going to pass it right here. I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass here. I'm going to copy the path is user activities. I'm gonna copy it, and then we're gonna pass it right here like this. And for the name of the route, we're gonna pass here user activities, and then I'm pass here user activities like this. And everything is okay so far. Now we are going to create a Pinia plugin that we're gonna call track user activity. And then I'm gonna create a Pinia plugin. I'm gonna name it track. I'm gonna name it track. Yeah, like this, track user activities. Yeah, .js. And inside this file, we're going to create in a state and pass here. I'm gonna export first of all this plugin export function use activity. We are going to extract the store, and then we're going to get into within the user has reached threshold.js. I'm gonna copy this code right here, and then I'm put it within the track use activity.js file. And then in here, we are going to create an array right here. We're gonna name it user. I'm gonna name it user activities. Yeah, it's gonna be an array, and then we are going to assign it ref, and the default value we're gonna assign it an array like this. And then I'm gonna copy it and pass it right here where we got threshold. We're going to pass it here like this, and then we're going to import the ref function. We're gonna pass here ref, and we're going to import, and then we're gonna import also the ToRef function. We're gonna import it too. And like this, now we're going to get into within the monitor action.js. I'm gonna create right here a function. I'm gonna move up here. I'm gonna pass a function, and then track user activities, and then we're gonna pass the name of the function. And right here, we're going to create right here an array activities like this. I'm gonna assign it an array, an empty array. And then we're gonna push in all functions called by the user. And what I'm gonna do right here, I'm going to create a count variable. I'm gonna assign 0, and then we're gonna do right here activities, and then that push. And right now I'm gonna push in an object. We are going to do this. We're gonna push in an object, and then we're gonna pass here an ID. We're gonna pass here count ++. Yeah, like this. And then we're going to pass here func name property. And then we're going to pass here the name of the function that the user called. And also we're going to assign it this property, user activities. We are going to push this array inside the states that we just created. We are going to copy it, and then we're going to go back within the monitor actions.js. Right here, we are going to do this. We're going to pass here store. We're going to pass here store. And then we are going to pass here that state, that user activities. And then we're going to assign it this array. I'm going to assign it activities array like this. And we're going to pass here a second parameter to our function. We're going to pass it store. We're going to pass here the store. And then I'm going to call the track user activity inside the monitor actions function. And then I'm going to pass it right here. And then we're going to pass the name of the function that the user called. And then I'm passing the store. I'm going to pass the store. And then like this, now we're going to get into within the user activity, the Vue page. And then we are going to iterate through the user activity. We are going to show up all functions that the user is going to be calling. Now I'm going to copy it, And then we are going to get into within the use activities that Vue file. And then right here, I'm going to remove something right here, like the query. Yeah, we're gonna leave the query post store, and I'm gonna remove the post list components. And then here we are going to do this. We're going to remove this line right here. And then I'm going to iterate through this array. We're going to do this v4. We're gonna pass here v4 user activity in, yeah, we're gonna pass here in query post store, pass here query post store dot user activities, and then we're gonna pass here the key in order to remove the error. We're gonna pass here the key is equal to user activity dot id, like this, and then we're going to display right here the name of the function, and then I pass here user activity dot func name, like this. And then we're going to get into the browser and see where we're gonna get. And then I'm gonna remove the use root composable, and then like this. Now we're gonna get into within the browser, and then we're gonna refresh the page and see what we're gonna get. You can see right here we got an error. We are going to fix it. We inside the index.js. I'm not getting user activities, like this. We need to pass here t, and then the I use activities, like this. And then we are going to refresh the page, and then you can see right now we don't got any use activity right here. I'm now trying to click on we are going to call this function, and then first of all we are going to register this Pinia plugin. We haven't yet registered, and then which is the track use activity. I'm not getting to the main.js file, and then we're gonna pass it to the Pinia instance. I'm not getting, and then right here we're gonna pass here Pinia.use, and then we're gonna pass here the plugin. I'm gonna import it. I'm gonna pass here use. I'm gonna pass here track use activity, and then we're gonna import it like this. Now we're gonna try it again, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Yeah, I'm gonna move to the post page. Yeah, and then we're gonna make an HTTP call to the server, and then you're gonna see right now I'm gonna refresh the page, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. You can see, yeah, we refresh the entire page, and then we're going to make an HTTP call to the server. And then right here we make an HTTP call to the server, and then right here I'm gonna click read more, and then we're going to get into within the use activity. You can see view single post. We just call this function view single post, and then we are going to, you can see we just made another HTTP call. Let's get into within the use activities, and then you can see that actually it doesn't, we don't add another function, another item inside the array. You can see when we move to the fetch, when we move to the post page, we make an HTTP call. When we click on the read more button, we make another HTTP call. Now you can see we don't display right here the right error. Now we are going to debug that. We are going to do this. We are going to get into within the use activities, and then in here I'm gonna pass here this, I'm gonna copy this query post store that use activities, and then we're gonna pass it here and see what we're gonna get. And then yeah, you can see right now I'm not switch the theme. You can see right here we got an array which contains one item, and then if we move to the post page, and then we go back to the activities page, you can see that actually we got one item. Now we need to fix that. We are going to go back within the monitor actions.js file, gonna get in, and then inside of here we are going to do this. I'm going to use this array. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this array. We know that this is a reactive state. Use activities is an array, and then we are going to, I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm pass it right here immediately, and then I'm gonna get rid of the activities array, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Now we are going to get into the browser again. Now we're gonna move to the post page. We are going to make an HTTP call to the server, and then we are going to see we got one item. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna raise a post, and then we're gonna move again right here. You can see we got two item, and then here we are going to remove that because we just fixed the error. We're gonna remove this property right here. I'm gonna remove that, And then we are going to check again. You can see use activity fetch post data. We just call this function. We call this function view single post. And you can see again, we got right here fetch post data. And if we move again to the post page, we are going to call this function again. And then if we move right here, you can see I'm gonna read a given post. You can see we are tracking user activity in real time. Everything that the user is going to do, we are going to be able to see it. We are going to see which function has been called by a given user. And we can display even the time, guys. I'm not getting the track user activities. I'm not create right here constant date is equal to new date. And then here we're going to add another property inside the object. And then now here I'm passing the date. I'm passing date to IO string like this, and then we're going to get into within the user activity the Vue file, and then in here we're gonna display to the date and pass a user activity that date like this, and then you're gonna check again. Now I'm gonna move to the post page. I'm gonna click on a post right here, and then if we move to the user activity page, you can see the user has the fetch post data function. The fetch post data function. He hit again the fetch post data function. He hit the view single post function, and this is how we can track user activity using the onAction hook. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I see you in the next one.